for a living.
Cool.
Yeah, I got in a bit of trouble,
Six
but I
pass,
got let
seven
off
pass.
with a cheeky little fine. But that
Yeah,
was
it's
it.
not recommended behavior. You can put the volume on, but not the video. How about that?
That's it. Matsi, thanks very much for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you later on this evening or over the next couple of days for obviously the remaining streams. We do still have, I believe, 5, 6, 7 streams left.
So I like how George has been straddling a bit. It's bringing up the action. He actually flopped the best of this here with this King 10. He doesn't know it because there's also a Jack on the board. There's 2 clubs, now 2 spades. So proceed with caution, but I think he's going to fire out a, it looks like about 13, 14. We'll see in a second, 14 pounds. And James, who's been playing pretty tight, I'd be shocked if he found a call or a raise here. So I think George is going to take down a small pot here on the turn.
Does make the call. And
okay, I stand corrected. It's just as much as I was saying, who's the most ABC player on the table?
Heads up.
Proves me wrong.
Maybe James feels like there's it's a draw-heavy board. Maybe his 7 is good for the time being.
He's calling for value, obviously.
Yeah, maybe George is
it's
on a semi-bluff type hand. And
now, if George actually checks here, which I think he will, he just did, is James going to check thinking he has showdown value, or is he going to think he needs to bluff to get the hand? Like, it's curious what he's going to do. He's reaching for chips. So he may realize that he doesn't really have showdown value.
26.
He might be able to get a hand, actually like George's to fold, depending on the size. So 26, George is thinking about it. I think George will find the call though. Now he's doing a different kind of shuffle with his chips, but he's shuffling the chips again when he's not strong.
He does. I think he.
But it's when he's ending the action, so it's not necessarily that much of a tell here.
I wouldn't read into that at all.
No.
I feel like with the blocker as well, it's a tough spot.
Yeah,
It is.
It is.
That is saying something.
See if George can find the call here.
But whenever he has something to think about, he's playing with his hands and his fingers, so that'll be interesting on other streets, George.
George deep into the tank.
And this isn't Hollywooding at all, guys. This is a spot that you should be thinking about. Running through what James can have. James was the pre-flop aggressor, and George does eventually fold. And James hasn't been out of line at all, so that's the one player on the table that I'd say that's not actually. It looks like a bad fold, but it wasn't.
For sure. And James there with the little added needle at the end saying you can pick one by the looks of it, and George gets the bad news that he was ahead the entire way. And fortunately for him, James does get that one through. James,
so I've added some respect to him now. He used his image quite well there. He knew he was playing tight in the beginning. How much of that the players picked up, I'm not quite sure, because we're seeing the whole cards, the other players are not.
For sure. And I kind of agree and disagree with you, Van H. Yes, he does have showdown value, but how much is that showdown value really worth in that spot? You know, is a 7 ever good there? He blocks King Queen, which is one of the straight draws George could have had. He blocks Queen 9. Okay, he unblocks spades, but apart from that, you know, what hands does he really beat there? Like,
the way he bet on the river showed that, like I said, you know, you were saying that
he knew
maybe
it was
he
a
thought
bluff.
a 7, but he was just going for floating to take it down on the river if it was checked on.
And look at this, Adris has opened up the kings from under the gun, going 5 ways to the flop, and George again.
Quite good equity with this kings, despite it being 5-way.
Yeah, and George flopping top pair just on the receiving end of it at the moment. And Adris does continue to bet 15 into a pot of about 25, fairly
If
standard
he's
stuff.
Lithuanian, which he might be, it's Andrus, but I don't know if it could be from a different country, I don't know. But George has to call here.
Has to call at least one, and I like Adris's sizing because he doesn't have Andrews.
Like Andrew, I would say, but
Andrews.
Yes.
Andrews, without the king of spades in his hand, I do like to size up here, so a decent size bet on the flop. And I don't think he's really thinking in terms of blockers, not being rude, but probably not. Yeah, I completely agree.
possible.
At these stakes, I completely agree.
He seems to be one of the smarter players at the table, though, to be fair.
Yesterday, I kind of got nit-rolled by him. On Wednesday, I've made a fairly standard
George
jam.
Rivers the check mark here, but
He
now
does.
does Andres turn his hand into a bluff? I mean, I think George is calling just about anything here, but unless it's like near a pot size bet.
Yeah,
But if it's like half the pot, George is just going to reluctantly call.
for sure. And it's
I
a
like the
decent
check
sized
by
pot as
George.
well.
He doesn't. If he bets, he's not getting much less than he can get at the 8s and 7s maybe to call depending on the sizing. But you're putting yourself in a ridiculous spot. So the check is normal, and the check back isn't that bad as well. He's not going to be happy to see that he got river.
About to make out.
And George picks up a nice pot with his 10-9 offsuit. Well played, George.
Fairly standard stuff there so far. And I'm going to let you take the reins for 10, 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, sure, why not?
And we're going to jump out, take a toilet break.
Enjoy.
I've
Maybe a ciggy, maybe something else.
No, I don't know if it's just, at these festivals you don't really have time to concentrate on your diet and making sure
Maybe go to
things
the
are-
gym real quick.
Yeah.
You do like a 10-minute workout
That's
and
it.
come back.
That's it. I'll see
right,
you
take
guys
care,
in about
Henry.
10 minutes.
All right, guys, you're stuck with me for a little while by myself. All by myself. I'll try not to sing. We have no karaoke mic. I just have a real mic in front of me. And now I've lost the action. Oh, the action's back. Okay, good. For a second, I just had a picture of me.
No phone on the table, please.
And Kevin with a hand that he's definitely going to be raising with from under the gun. It's just a matter of his sizing.
6-4, raise to 6. 5, pass.
Don't be mean to Jason.
6, raise 15.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say that
7 pass.
I knew exactly what it was, but I would notice that he's playing with the chips. So it's
1
any
pass.
time that he's really thinking. It's just
Call
if
15.
he's doing it all the time, then it's not a tell. So the raise to the 9 is pretty standard.
4,
Simsy
call.
with the 3-bet was 7-5 off, so this is his first time with a 3-bet, and
players.
it's with a very speculative hand. It'll be interesting to see what happens when it gets back around to Kevin. Andres is thinking about whether he wants to see
Check.
anything with this queen 6, and we're a little bit behind on the graphics. So we have a call to the flop. It's 4-9-6 rainbow.
6-4
Very good
bet,
flop for
13.
James. Also an okay flop for Andres as well.
6-6, cool.
And let's see how the action goes.
6-2, cool.
A bet from Kevin and calls around. And the 4 of
check.
spades actually
Call,
might
check.
slow down the action a bit. James may try to turn his open-ender into a
6,
semi-bluff,
bet, 32.
as it looks like he does. A bet of 32.
call,
Andres
32.
deciding not to go anywhere with middle pair. And Kevin may give up on the
6-4
hand, which he
pass.
does.
Heads up.
And a nice sized pot already. It's at 149 pounds before the river card of an 8 of spades is dealt.
6-2.
Andres all in. He picked the wrong time. James's straight is completed. Simsy picking up a nice pot of 237 pounds. Easy game sometimes. You 3-bet with your 7-5 and your river is straight, and everything falls in line for you.
Give a chain set for this, yeah? 20 change.
And Andres, if he had more chips behind, we would have maybe seen some different river action.
million times. I thought, I'm not
Chips, please.
kings and now.
Good luck on 32 red, Jeffrey.
Good plan.
They will
some
be
chips.
hosting a free roll tonight. Information will be released on the second stream of the day, brought to you by George and Henry. And it looks like for now we're at a 5 max table, so we should see some more action even. Players opening up a bit lighter than they would normally be opening up with. Registration is now open for the free roll. Very good, Nick. The stakes have doubled. It's been to 50 free rolls, and now it's 500 free rolls.
You mind to give me one stack in red?
I do love
Just
32
yeah,
Red
just to
personally.
win the
That's
game.
my go-to site at Microgaming. Primarily not just because of Nick, who is here in the chat, but because of the way their rewards program is. It's not based on how much you play. It is based on your play, but it's not tiered. So you get 30% back no matter how much you play, which is wonderful, nice and simple. Don't need to think about whether you're going to spend your Saturday night in to get to a certain tier. You just play as much or as little as you want, and you get rewarded for what you play.
Sit 5, pass. Sit 6, pass. 7,
Okay, so we have a
one.
lot of speculative hands. It comes around to Hadi Ahmed, who just flats from the cutoff. He's been willing to play any hand.
Sit
George
one,
is certainly
raise
going to
to
be raising
6.
the button, putting pressure on the other players with his pocket eights. Raises
two,
it to
raise
6.
21.
That seems pretty standard. It looks like
Sit
we have a
4.
3-bet by Andres with
Pass,
7.
7,
So
pass.
this could get Andres in a bit of trouble, who just reloaded.
Sit 1, call 21.
And yeah,
Heads
George
up.
just opts to call, which is fine. Heads up. And it could be a matter of who wants to spot the most. Neither player flopping what they wanted to see, but of course with 8s or 7s, you just want to see an 8 or a 7 pop up. And Andres, who showed some aggression with the 3-bet, was able to use that with a continuation bet out of position on the flop and take down a mini pot.
New deal, guys. Good luck.
So you're playing 10 NL. That's I assume that's like a nice starting point for you. So I imagine that you're fairly new to 32 Red, because I know you play a little bit higher on other sites.
Hello, how are we?
Now you're saying that's the highest running right now. Well, it is Friday afternoon as well.
That's alright. Good job.
I haven't actually looked too much into the Blaze. I've
Not bad
played
at Jenga,
Cash.
right?
I've played some Cash Omaha, and I have seen
Alright,
some
big one.
higher stakes running there. Not nosebleed stakes, but certainly some 1-2.
Ah, wonderfully. Oh.
Oh, George. Hello, aces. What's the raise sizing? 4. I think 4 or 5 is both okay with an unopened pot. I think Kevin's going to come along with his Queen Jack, even though he's out of position. And he does. And James is going nowhere with the Ace Jack, obviously. As well, you can never really put a guy on aces just because he raised pre-flop. So we have a 7-7-5 flop, both clubs. Great flop for George. The R7's in his opponent's range. He does have also the nut flush draw back. What's going on here? We have George leading out. Okay. And Kevin making a loose call from the small blind. And James calling behind. So George is loving life. And now both Kevin and James might be thinking they love life, but they're going to be a little bit scared off also that there's another club on the board.
C1 bets 21.
So George with the lead out of 21, it seems like decent sizing. He will get at least one call. He may get 2 calls. He should get a call at least from Kevin with the Queen of Clubs also in his hand. It's a really tough spot for James. I mean, this is a card that he wanted to see potentially when he called the flop. He just wishes it wasn't a club.
Yeah. Cool.
And we do see the call here. And And we have a 9 of spades on the river. That won't really slow down any of the action. Nobody's really putting anybody on an 8-10. So whatever we saw on the turn, we should see again on the river. Likely check over to George. George betting out for value. And nope, George checks behind as well and just collects the pot right there and then.
Much bigger. Very nice.
Thank you.
Wanna go for the bluff?
I wasn't going anywhere, bro. I say that, I probably was. You go all in or something.
So Jeffrey having fun with the fast fold games. I do not think the HUD works on the fast fold games on microgaming. The HUD does work, I know, Jeffrey, on the other games. That might be why the HUD's not working.
It's been my lucky day. Nice one.
Next one.
Which is something I kind of actually technically agree with. I don't like the idea of HUDs in fast fold games. I will use them when available when I do play the fast fold games, so, but I think that should be more anonymous than other kinds of games. That's the idea behind the fast fold game.
Suit 1 calls.
So we have a limp under the gun. We could have almost a family pot here. Nope, Andres decides to make things a little more interesting. He is suited with his king 5 and in position. I think we'll see Simsy come along. This is a hand that you like to play multi-way, and we see Hadi Ahmed come along, and I don't think George is going anywhere at this point.
Check.
And right now, James flopping the best of it.
1 check, 6.
But Andres was the aggressor pre-flop, so we'll see if he continues. Nope. And now James's hand looks a little bit worse with the queen, but better because it's a diamond. And since none of his opponents have a queen, which James doesn't know, his equity actually did increase in the hand. And he does get folds all around. Jeffrey, when is your next Cash Game Festival? Are you coming to Sunny Beach, my friend? Then you can needle me in person, which is always much more fun. Might be Sunny Beach. Would be great to see you. I'll buy you an unlimited amount of beers because the beers are free. You heard right, they're free at Platinum Casino, so anybody that was thinking of coming to a Cash Game Festival, Sunny Beach has been my favorite stop. This will be the 3rd year in a row that they're there. Yeah, for a non-poker holiday, it's a good place to go. Lots of places along the beach to chill out, have a good holiday. If you like playing beach volleyball, that's free to do as well. If you want to just chill in the casino, the free drinks are flowing. We do not have the free roll information up yet, but it will be a €500 free roll. We will not be releasing the password until the next stream. But thank you to 32 Red for hosting the free roll. There will be another special event tomorrow on 32 Red for the hardcore grinders. The top 8 cash game grinders that have grinded redbacks will be competing in a sit and go for a Cash Game Festival package for the winner and €500 to be shared amongst other players. So a €2,000 free roll. And then an identical one for the next 32 biggest grinders. And from what I understand from the Poker Room manager, Nick, you do not need to be grinding that much to fit into that second tier, and it'll be a 32-man tournament also for a package and also with €500 in free money. So James with a nice 300 big blind stack in front of him. Pays for some of the alcohol he may have consumed or may not have at Sunny Beach. Paying off the holiday.
Alright, seek 2 straddles to 2. Two straddle.
And it looks like we have a straddle here because the pot is already at 4.
Suit 4 calls. Suit 5 calls.
James
suit
is
6
going to get in with a
calls,
call.
6, 7 calls.
Another call from the small blind. George will be calling pretty much any 2 from the big blind.
Suit 2 raises to 12.
And instead of just calling from the straddle, this is one of the reasons you do straddle. He raises his ace-5 suited,
1.
and it'll call around because it wasn't a large enough raise to... Oh, we did see a fold, I'm sorry.
Great raise.
George did get out of the hand with his 10-6. So an excellent flop for Andres for 2 reasons. One, he was a pre-flop aggressor, so he can continue along with just about anything in his hand. Second, he has bottom pair along with a nut
25.
flush draw, so he has some value in his hand as well.
Suit 5 calls.
It will likely fold around in this case, but we've seen Hadi Ahmed call lighter than this, so we'll see what happens. It looks like we're going to get Henry back pretty soon. I think he went to the gym, maybe went for a swim. At least maybe had a glass of water, I don't know. But Henry is back.
What did I miss?
You missed some small pots.
Yeah.
You missed Jeffrey saying he may come to Sunny Beach for a holiday, not even to play poker. I mean, and I was nice enough, now that you're here, but I was nice enough, we shouldn't let everybody else hear it, to say, well, isn't that what you normally do when you come to cash game festivals?
Yeah.
But I didn't say that, because I was being nice.
He normally...
And that maybe would have evened up the ribbing, and I wanted him to feel like he had a one-up,
Yeah, he does tend to just
We do love
lurk
Jeffrey, though.
around, doesn't
We do
he,
love him.
at the festivals.
Yes.
But no, it's all good. It's all good. And I was watching
It's
the
not
stream.
the same when he's not here, actually. I hate to say it.
It's
But,
true.
It isn't the same when Jeffrey's actually not here.
Actually,
Well, I see James rivered a straight against middle pair of...
Yeah.
How was it?
suit
Andres?
4 raises
Yeah.
to 5. Suit 5 calls.
It was when he decided to 3-bet with 7-5
6
off, and
raised to
then they
11,
came on the
6,
river.
7,
So I
1,
thought you were here for
2,
that hand, so that was probably the most interesting hand you missed. And
sure.
then George got some value from his aces.
Nice. It looks like he's got a decent sized stack in front of him. Just talking to Picasso, actually. Just having a quick chat with Picasso.
What's he up to? Is he still in Vegas?
He's in Vegas. He's raiding a friend of ours. Like I said to you yesterday, he was on the final table of the main event. Alex Linsky. He did bust in 7th for 1.5 million.
That's still a party.
That's 14.
Still a party. Apparently, it's pretty crazy. He sent me some videos of the rail that I'm going to have to catch up with later on. But yeah, it's always nice to get one of the good guys, on the final table of such a prestigious event such as the WSOP main event. And now I'm probably rooting for Carter.
Yeah, it would make a nice story from a journalist's point of view. I shouldn't really be rooting for anyone, but yeah, from a story
like
point of view, it would be nice to have another 2-time winner.
It's good for poker as well. It's good. I think it is good for poker to get like these guys that make back-to-back final tables, or they make like the main event final table 2 times within like 10
what
years.
it's actually really good for is regulation in poker, because right now the U.S. is at sort of a crossroads. Sports betting has been given a green light if states want to go for it, so you're going to see lots of new gaming regulations. So it'd be good to have poker included, and people say we don't want this crapshoot betting, it's all luck, and to try to prove that it's skill. You can now point out to a guy that, like a guy like Joe Cota, what are the chances that a guy with no skill would be able to win 5, 6, 7,000 player events,
For sure.
at the highest stakes
6, 7,
twice in a decade.
13.
Exactly, and obviously this
Two
being the
balls.
second largest WSOP main event field, to navigate your way through a field like that, you have to be really talented, and there is a dose of luck in there. And Jeffrey saying Dyer will win, he's the best player left. I actually feel like I disagree a bit. Dyer was just flopping the nuts every hand, he won every flip.
Kind of like a McKeon situation.
Kind of like that.
But McKeon actually is a tremendous player.
Absolute crusher. It's more like a bit of like Jamie Gold, who's just flopping sets for fun, and
Maybe something in between.
something in
because
between. I feel like Dyer was just winning absolutely every flip, running on. I think Sin is the most solid player left out of the 6 players, I believe, that are going to be going into it today. But yeah, I do feel like it's still anyone's game. It's still really relatively deep. The structure's obviously very slow. And we're actually quite deep here for a 1-1 game. You can see like a couple of 250, 300 big blind stacks.
I'm enjoying this. This has been great action, actually. I
Good
was a little
fun.
bit nervous coming on because most of the players were getting free money, and as I said, you don't know how they're going to treat that. They know when it's over, where they can get up at any time and just put the money in their pocket. But they came out to play, and they came out to have fun. And then you easily add George and James Sims on the table, and that's just going to add to the fun.
That's it. It is indeed, and it's been more action-packed than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, Jeffrey, gotta love Mr. 100% C-bet though, and yeah, I couldn't agree more. Dyer is very aggressive. I think he's got a C-bet ratio of about 103%. But yeah, man's got a chip lead. He knows what he's there to do.
3% when he does it twice occasionally.
Yeah.
Forgets his C-bets and another hand puts out chips.
Wow, look at this cooler city here, and James going with a slow
Is he just
play.
going to call?
He has decided to just call, and
Now it's like an interesting play now. I think anybody that whoever shows the most aggression takes this down.
and
It could easily just go back call here though.
not a huge fan of this from James. Sorry, leading the flop. I would have liked to see him just bump it up pre. It's like, why are you taking the passive approach pre-flop and then
Because
taking
now
the
he can
aggressive
also be
line post?
representing that he has these kind of hands that connect
Six
well with
bets,
this
32.
board as well. But yeah, I also don't like it. But it worked out to his advantage now. This will get through.
So far, Kevin
It's
does pick up
possible he
equity on
likes
the
his
turn
queen of
though.
spades, but
Wow, shaky hands there from Kevin, absolutely trembling with the left hand as he went to pick up chips, and
Kevin came to have fun though. He told me that. So let's see. And now it's a chop pot.
Check,
If we see,
six, check, six, four
James
checks.
gives up. So this is where I would have liked to see another barrel.
Oh, nice.
This is where you get those aces out of the hand at that point, where your flush draws out of the hand.
Oh wait, no.
And it's hard to put Kevin on something that board really helps. I guess you could easily put him on a pocket pair that'll be, like pocket tens, pocket nines, pocket sevens. I guess obviously is good also.
And James probably going to be kicking himself a little bit there as he sees the ace queen of Kevin. Probably realises that he could have got a bit more value pre-flop had he decided to go.
Or bet the river out and continued
For
his
sure.
line that this is my board,
For sure.
and he would have gone a fold on the river, I believe.
I tried to make you fall.
So, for those of you that are just tuning in, I did mention earlier on today that we are giving away £100 cash money for a stake on the TV table tomorrow, and we're also giving away £100 cash for the hybrid tournament that's going to be running tomorrow as well. All you need to do, go on to Ace High Poker, which is a poker page on Facebook. All you need to do is like the post and comment. You can just comment your name, comment anything. Today at 7 PM UK time, we will be giving away to one lucky viewer or person who has liked the post on Facebook £100. You have until 5:30 to enter that draw on Ace High. All you need to do is like the post, make a comment, and you're automatically enrolled into the free roll, basically.
And it's a fairly UK-centric group, but you don't have to be in the UK to join it. I've been a member of that group for well north of a year. They're very friendly there. So if you're listening to this now and you're in town, go ahead and join up. It doesn't matter if you're from the UK or not.
Exactly, and giving yourself a chance to get yourself £100 cash, which you can obviously potentially spin up to several hundreds. So it's free money at the end of the day. Free money.
Who doesn't like free money?
It's my third favourite thing, as I've been telling you guys
Third.
for the past year. It's my third favourite thing. Jeffrey knows what the two above that are, but it's not PG material, so we'll just leave it at that.
It's good Jeffrey's being quiet right now.
Yeah,
You got him in a quiet moment.
Jeffrey's lurking.
He must be like 20 tabling right now and not getting into the chat.
He's playing some 10 NL Zoom on 32 Red Poker, as far as I'm aware. So
Jeffrey being diplomatic. You paid him off.
there we go. Wish I could 20 table here.
4 bet 16.
I don't think I've paid Jeffrey off, so you get the nice. You know, if he had dirt on me, it would be right there.
Oh,
right
he's
now.
got dirt on me.
Yeah, but he's not sharing the dirt, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's got some serious dirt on me. But we're good friends, you know. So I've got a bit of dirt on him as
We're
well.
friends as well, but I would expect him to dish the dirt. You know, that's.
And it looks like we have about 20 minutes left of this 1-1 stream, guys. 20 minutes or so. Looks like James is up to
My mum
about
wouldn't even know what
300
poker
and
Really?
Yeah.
yeah. James, how much
Oh
did you
no, she
buy?
knows what poker is because I've been doing
no
it for so long,
spoilers, 'cause
but
we're
I
still-
don't know
200.
where to find
We're
it.
still in the past.
Yeah.
Not my first time I got testing.
You're actually in the future. We're talking to
It's a what?
future James Sims. He can't see what we're saying,
Yeah, it's Joey.
so he's off the table, which means we have about 20 minutes.
4 straddles of 2, 6, 5 fold.
I don't.
6, 6.
Yeah, actually.
Raise
We actually
to 6, 7.
we were complimenting the white shirt and the bronze effect from Sunny Beach, you know. in the tan. That's it. Bit of shine going on.
Unique viewers.
I think we'll get James behind the booth another time. We can't really have him on now because it wouldn't be fair, but we can have him on later today. He's going to be in town till Sunday, I believe. He doesn't live too far from here.
Maybe when we go to
as
Sunny
well,
Beach,
so
you know, a couple of people that want to play big.
It's always great to have James behind the booth, though.
Yeah.
James showing 23%, so right up there with George. They have the same percentage of pre-flop raises.
Whereabouts in Melbourne from?
Melbourne.
It's not
really?
showing
Yeah.
VPIP once again
Yes.
with the limping. And it surprises me
I
to see the other James
wanted
only at
to
6%.
quit.
We've seen him play some
Quit
pots, but
doing
maybe
it
they're all
first,
just
and then I
pulling
couldn't find a
behind.
job anywhere
It's
over
been,
here.
I'd say his VPIP is probably one of the highest, along with Hades as well. It hasn't been too much.
Jeffrey's curious what dirt you have on him. I think you two need to have a private conversation about the dirt that you have on each other.
Let's put it this way: the dirt that he has on me could get me in a lot more trouble than the dirt I have on him. So the dirt I have on him isn't huge, but
The dirt anybody has on me can't get me in any trouble, which is good.
look
And
at
I
this
don't get
from
embarrassed by anything, so it's fine.
look at this from
I think
Andreas.
I think I publish my own dirt, which is kind of the problem.
Yeah, free betting again with the min click
I love the heart.
with the 7 do.
I
So
love the heart. I don't love the play. Great
Just-
flop for George. An 8-9 flop would have been better. 25. I don't believe they're playing the 7-2 game either.
I'm not sure. And George kissing the £25 before there as he puts it in.
So Andrew's giving up. I think on the flop once again, that's not the flop you want to continue on, but if you're going to continue on that flop, if you're Andrews, to continue on the turn.
For sure.
Now you can actually pretend that the
He
king
bets
didn't
it.
help you, but that the queen did, and fire again on the river if you want.
Wow, look at the heart here from
And
it.
he's actually going to get it through because I don't see George making a play here. I mean, he could be thinking about what lines Andrews has had in the past, what he possibly can have, and raise it. He's never just calling for value here, obviously. And he would have to put pressure back on Andrews, which George is capable of doing, but it doesn't seem like the best spot either. They do have the right stacks to be doing it though, so let's see what happens here. We have shuffling of chips again, but we've learned that that's not really a tell because he's now doing it every time just something is coming up.
George seriously
Maybe just
considering
keep
his
him
options
calm.
here, and
It would show so much heart for him to raise here.
I've seen him do it before. He could definitely do it again. Not a huge fan of the check on the turn. I understand the pot control aspect. I'd rather do it with a hand like Ace Jack, Ace 10, because you have more showdown value than
I'm not a
obviously
fan
Jack
of
High.
the check by either player on the turn, actually.
Yeah, for
Andres discontinued his showing strength, and this is why George maybe can find a bet. on
Look
the
at
river.
this from
yes,
George.
Yes, yes,
George going all in and shows the
Yes.
Jack High
yes.
like a boss. Yeah, Jack 10 of spades there by the looks
His
of it.
opponent, I think, just said, Andres, yeah, but I had 7-2. But
That's
yeah,
it.
but you still got the best of it, you know. It's
Awesome stuff from George, taking himself to the chip lead there, and yeah, tables the hand as well. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
So the free roll information needs to be updated. That was last night's free roll. That command will be updated before the next stream. So disregard that. The free roll is a €500 free roll on 32 red tonight. We did not want to release the password this early, primarily to prevent it from being spread around outside of the Cash Game Festival channels. We want people to tune into the stream. We want the community to win. We had a community member win, I believe, the Unibet free roll last night.
6 balls.
Believe so.
4 weeks of work and then 3 weeks ender type thing.
Yeah.
So guys, ignore that password there in the chat. Like Jason's already mentioned, we will be revealing the details of the free roll on the next stream. It starts about 6 p.m. UK time. On top of running the €500 free roll, courtesy of 32 Red Poker, we are going to be giving away £100 cash and £100 cash into the hybrid tourney, which will be run tomorrow at Aspers Casino. So guys, if you want to know how to get involved in that, go on to Ace High Poker on Facebook, like the page, give it a follow, and all the details on how to get yourself entered for free into that giveaway is on the page. And we'll be giving away money to one lucky viewer later on today, around 7 p.m. UK time.
So I think players know that this is wrapping up. We're seeing a lot more 3-bets than normal. So now they just want to get their fun in. This is definitely a good hand for James Sims to be 3-betting with. I think he would be 3-betting actually here, even if it wasn't wrapping up, knowing how he plays.
6 4.
Great flop for him as well.
6 6
He does need to proceed a little bit with caution, but he's going to see at least the turn, and then now we're up to the river. So I think it went check, check, yep, and the 5 of hearts. If Kevin checks, I think James will not try to get value out of his second pair and just check behind, and he'll probably just call here for value. Although we did see him fold before with second pair, and that was to the other James, I believe, but it might have been to Kevin. But I don't think he's going to let this happen twice.
And he does. He decides to raise it
he's
up.
turning his hand into a bluff.
Little does he know he has the best hand. And Kevin with just ace high here.
Now Kevin can show like a sick amount of heart based on the stack sizes and just come over the top, but
It would be sick.
yeah, I mean you would have to have such a read on your opponent to think about doing that.
It would have been sick.
But I think James would fold if Kevin just snap shoved. I think then
Unless he went
I
for the
think
soul
he could have
read.
bought it.
Yeah, no, I like your accent. I like the northern accent. Like,
Northern?
yeah, like the Game of Thrones
Sure.
accent.
Which one?
The Game of Thrones
And then if he does jam, you just go with the instant snap call with the soul read. Yeah. You're like,
You
I
should.
got middle pair, mate.
Yeah.
It's good.
No, I think actually I watched one episode.
But we did see James fold in that similar spot when he had second pair with the 9 as well on a similar kind of textured board. So I'm not sure what James would have done if it was shoved. I'm not sure James knows what James would have done if it was shoved.
It's the best. It's the
A
best
field
film
player.
to do.
We have James sort of listening into us
Yeah,
right
there's
now,
so
so
much.
we're
There's
doing
so
like a
much
little bit of
feedback.
needling and getting a little bit of
I have to watch
feedback
it
at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
That good? California.
What was the game like? It seemed like it was quite action heavy for a 1-1 to us.
7 straddles 2.
Some loose play. Yeah, exactly. And then you and George were there to just take that money back, you know,
Raise to 7
and return it to the Cash Game Festival.
So George raising it up from the hijack standard. Both Jameses, no, one James comes along. Simsy does not come along with this Jack-6 offsuit. That's even a little too speculative for him. Although the Jack-6 offsuit by Andrews is no surprise based on how we've seen him play. So Andrews actually gets a flop that he was looking for. If you're going to play Jack-6, you want to see a Jack or a 6,
For sure.
or sometimes both of them. And he has been showing aggression, so he could be repping something quite different than what he has.
Looks like he's gone for like an overbet of like 33 to 29. Got to get through on this one. Swing and a miss for everyone else. I like George's check there. He understands that this board just smashes everyone else's range in a multi-way pot, and does let his weaker 2 pair go. And is it Andrews? I can't pronounce
Andrews.
it. Andrews.
If he's Lithuanian, otherwise it
Andrews.
could be pronounced differently, but it's
Andrews
name-
taking it down with the Jack-6. There you go.
it's a name that's very common in Lithuania. Labas rytas if you're in Lithuania. Sekmes, which means good luck.
I believe we have about 10 minutes left or so. We're then going to be going away for about 2 hours. And
What are
then
you
we're
going to do
bringing
during those 2 hours?
I'm probably going to jump into some cash games. Going to have some lunch firstly because I'm starving. I've got my wraps
Let's see
here.
what you got. What kind of wrap you have?
I'm going for the sweet chili chicken wrap, breaded chicken,
sounds
sweet
actually
Thai chili
good.
sauce, and lettuce.
And you can get that here at Asper's, right? You didn't get that at the supermarket. You got it at the,
Got it here
at the bar.
at the casino. They've got
Tickets, 12.
quite a wide selection of food and
Really
drink
need
here.
to work out
This is
well.
going to be an interesting hand.
Yeah, 'cause we
Andres,
know Andres can play anything, so the jacks are kind of like aces.
for sure, with the straddle in play, opens up the jacks to 12 from the hijack. Kevin not going anywhere with the king 10 suited, and as we've seen from Hades so far, the suited ace is going to be coming
It's a
along.
family pot outside of Simsy, who we don't know what he had, but he's not in the hand here. Everybody but Simsy to the flop. And this flop actually does not hit, is the worst one you could possibly have for the jacks. So George here commentating on George.
Yo.
We'll make an exception to the general rule here.
Yeah.
We've had James actually in the background, so now we have two exceptions. And yeah, Kevin should just be taking this down. I don't see Andrews. Well, I say that, and here comes the money. He has to believe somebody has a king when it goes five-handed to the flop there.
Yeah, this player in particular I had a pretty good read on. He was pretty hot under the collar, making some super wide 3-bets and just getting a bit out of line really.
Okay, so Andrews can't possibly continue here, but he does. And then a 7 of clubs on the river. If you're going to continue on the turn, did he call the river?
Yeah, he blocks a lot of the obvious bluffs on the turn as well, like Jack 10, Jack 9 of clubs, and like Ace Jack
He
of clubs,
folded the
Ace
river
Jack of
though,
spades.
yeah.
Sorry, so the spades. So yeah, he manages to get away. But there's some fun hands coming up where you'll see some good action.
Not
Me
to
and
give away
James
any
are just-
spoilers,
Me and James
but,
are just sat there like, what is going on here? Like,
Not to give away spoilers,
I've
but
never-
stay tuned.
yeah, stay tuned, exactly.
Jeffrey said he wouldn't mind the cheeky Nando's. It's actually a good
Yeah,
shout. Get
cheeky
some
Nando's
chicken.
is a great shout. They got the chicken wings here, so I'm going to be tucking into them after. But yeah, interesting session actually. Very interesting.
How much were you in for at the beginning? 200.
200, yeah.
Did you reload after?
No, I made a little
No
bit.
spoilers. no
Made a little
spoilers.
bit.
Made a little bit.
So we're at hand 35. It's been a nice pace, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit nervous after the first hand where there was some tanking with crap going on, but I think it was just getting his bearings, so
Oh,
we
that
excuse
Hadi
that.
Ahmed guy.
Yeah, he just did it the
Tanking
first
with 7
hand.
high.
I had a decent read on him as well. He did the classic defensive thing where I would like wait to see bet and just see what he did, and he grabbed his chips.
43.
If he grabs his chips, I bet. If he doesn't, I check. Basically.
Look at this from Andreas. Pumping.
They do have hot dogs as well.
This is the interesting hand now. So I've called with 9s and I'm in the middle of the action. Hadi Ahmed's range is still pretty uncapped here, even when he calls, because I feel as though he'd call with a super strong hand like aces, kings, jacks, queens, whatever, with such a short stack behind. And like I know that whatever I do, the player on my left, Andreas, is going to commit his stack on the flop. So basically I'm deciding to move all in or fold here, and moving all in has its merits, but do I really want to be getting 85 big blinds in with 9s against two players that are definitely calling when I felt a decent edge on the table? And the answer to that was, as I'm starting to sort of calculate here, probably not.
It's a much different situation than when you did it with the ace-jack in a
Yeah.
similar spot.
The
also.
ace-jack, I had a good read that the guy was going to be 3-betting me light. He got like 2 or 3 callers behind, so I wasn't really worried about them because obviously their ranges are completely capped. So I can come in for a pretty profitable 4-bet. The guy committed a stack, and then by that point I've got a call because I'm flipping
were
against
priced in at that
8s,
point.
9s, 7s, and the sort of hands that he's going to be going with there.
All in.
So you got out of the hand based on the stack sizes.
Yeah, I mean, the guys in the chat saying shove it, I mean, it's easy to say that, but do I really want to be gambling?
Let's be
3 ways?
results oriented.
Yeah,
if he shoved,
exactly.
he would have lost to both players.
Yeah,
We're
and
results oriented.
I didn't think that the Hadi Ahmed guy was getting that out of line before that, and then he said that he was happy to call it off. So I just didn't know what was going on at that point. And he binks his jack on the river, and Andreas is just hating life.
There's an interesting selection of music going on. Like usually we have some classic rock tunes, and we've turned into like a techno.
Yeah, but
beat.
then you just sort of
It's
chuck a bit
nice.
of like mellow Ed Sheeran in the middle as
Yeah.
well. So my
And I feel
emotions
like,
have
I
been
feel like
jumping.
I need some pile chips in front of me right now and just jam it in the middle. That's
Yeah.
how I feel when this music comes on.
There's been a lot of Ed Sheeran on today, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of Ed Sheeran. And now we're going with the classic Duffy.
Boost Bruge, yeah, they've got the Asper's chicken wings slightly leave a little bit to be desired, but better than nothing, hey? So, yeah, the hot dogs are available. I think I saw Henry tucking into at least one yesterday. Yeah.
So let me ask you another question. Whenever
Absolutely.
you're thinking, I was trying
Yeah.
to see if we could get a read on what it meant.
Sure.
You're shuffling chips,
Yeah.
and you're shuffling them a little bit different
Okay,
based on anything.
that's good
So
feedback.
are you-
I always
are
like to
you-
hear that.
Are you just doing that anytime you have to think to relax yourself,
Yeah,
or is it?
I felt on the table that James was the only person that I was really worried about. The rest of them, I felt very comfortable. I didn't think I'd be giving away too many reads, or that they'd be even looking for that kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't think I even played a hand with James, so we managed to avoid each other. And apart from that, I was very, very comfortable. So maybe those kind of subconscious things that you're alluding to are really important for me to go back and review this session, because
Yeah, I'm not
against
quite sure if it means anything.
Exactly,
Because
and
I thought maybe it could, but then you were doing it in another situation.
Yeah, and against someone astute like yourself, you might be able to pick up something on that. So I do need to go and have a look and see what my sort of general behaviour is with weak, with strong, with medium strength holdings for sure.
Yeah, it seemed to be whenever you had something medium, then you were thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it could even be more of a timing tell than a chip shuffling tell, because
Yeah.
the chip shuffling is just a side byproduct of the
Yeah,
thinking. Where I
absolutely.
didn't notice it when he had strong hands, because maybe we're moving a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Got a funny feeling this is going to go in the middle. Oh, James does that. His top pair go.
But I don't think Simsies is. No, Andres gets one with a draw.
James's decision there is not the flop. It's this guy is probably just going to ship it in my eye on the turn. So does he really want to stack off with King Deuce?
The sunglasses in the 1-1 game, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It takes me back to my times in Atlantic City, like when there were stud games going on, and even at the low stakes limit stud games, you would see like people just putting on sunglasses. I'm like, come on, guys, it's stud. You know,
Yeah.
how much bluffing is really going on here.
Absolutely right. What, for the limit games where they're betting like 15th
exactly, it
pot
was a
or something?
limit, yeah.
yeah.
But whatever makes you feel comfortable at the table, you know, we can have a laugh, but
Yeah.
I don't mean to be having a laugh at your expense, and
No.
I'm not. It's whatever you're comfortable doing.
I'm completely. I thought that the King 10 hand, I reviewed that with a friend, and I think it's close, but I think because I had a bit of a read that he was fairly passive pre and post flop, he could check back some club flush draws on the flop, which means that he does get to the river with a lot of hands with no showdown. But I didn't expect him to turn like third pair into a bluff, which is what he did. So I really wasn't assigning that kind of not capability,
What's
but
going
that kind
on
of play.
here?
Yeah, so this is an interesting pot. So Hadi makes the fairly big open. I let
Hadi
it go.
will be on such tilt if Andres goes. Hadi was telling me about all the bad beats he's had in his life.
Oh, really?
I think they were all in the last
One of
week,
those
right
guys, is
before,
it?
right before,
That's
right
what I was about to
before.
say.
I mean, he told me some of the good stuff too, but it was like every bust out of the week,
Yeah. So
and
me
it
and
was
James,
and it was stuff like this, you know, him
Yeah.
him being the aggressor, and then him getting a call from something that should have folded,
Absolutely.
and then then the board would come queen 6, blank.
Yeah, me and James are having a bit of a laugh here because I've folded in the middle of these two. Andreas has just shipped it in. We know that that's going to be super wide, and we're just saying what the hell's going on here, basically. So 215 big blinds basically go in the middle. He did make the call, and obviously with cash games, people tend he made the raise over the open, and now
He's thinking about whether to call, but I think now he's made the call,
Yeah.
and This is why these games are profitable. You don't worry that it's capped at, that it's 10% capped at 5.
That's just great. Yeah.
Oh, no, I feel so bad for him.
Wow.
I feel so bad for him. After all the stories I heard, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, buddy.
Teach me how to run.
I mean, Andres with the balls, you gotta be happy for
He
him.
said
but
something
I feel
like,
the
"I'm a
pain.
gambler, I call," and gets the.
And this was the
service.
last hand?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Action
Amazing.
hand for the last
Amazing.
What a game!
Yes.
What a game! I bet you guys were sat there thinking, "Oh, I wish I could have played in that game."
It's like, what is going on?
There was some fun spots in that one. What did
Well,
you
guys,
think about the guy who committed his stack with the 9s there? Like, obviously my range is completely uncapped. He's going to be flipping at best for sure. Like, I don't have 8-7 suited or something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I loved it.
We were
Personally,
debating
recap.
your 4-bet.
Okay.
And George and Jeffrey both loved your 4-bet. I said I loved your 4-bet if stacks were deeper,
Yeah.
because then you have a 4-bet fold range with
Yeah.
your ace jack. But when you were priced into call, you were happy to see 9s, right? Once you were priced
No,
into
because
call,
once he's
never-
overcalled the 3-bet and then back shoved, the strongest hands he can have there are, in a live game, maybe he can have jacks or 10s, but most of the time he's going to have like a medium pair that he just decides to go with.
Yeah.
Which is incorrect because I'm still uncapped.
And if you weren't worried about the initial 3-better, which is really the range of hands that I'm worried about when I'm calling him, he had about the same stack. Then
But
you're
you
putting
saw
a
what
lot
he
more
was showing
hands
up
in,
with,
but you're
right?
still never folding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He had ace 10 off, and then he had 7 deuce when you jammed the jack 10.
Oh, did he?
He had 7
Wow.
deuce, so
Because he made a bit of a salty comment. He was like, "Oh, I had 7 deuce," and I was like, "Really?" And yeah, he actually did.
yeah,
But
he had 7 deuce.
I was thinking about calling for a while because I was like, I don't think ace high, any of these ace high kind of hands take this line. But then I did block ace jack and ace 10, which might have been double barrels. So then he goes to the bet check bet line, and I'm thinking I don't have enough showdown value to call, so I just had to rip it in.
For sure. Anyway, instead of us babbling on,
We're
talking,
going to take a bit of a 2-hour break and then you'll
2-hour
see
break.
these guys, but you
Yeah.
won't see me till the night.
me and George are going to be back at 6 p.m. UK time. Don't forget, we are giving away £200 on stream later on today, as well as the €500 free roll. Go to Ace High Poker on Facebook, get yourselves involved to give yourself a chance. Us three are going to be back later on. George, well played, buddy.
Cheers, mate.
Jason,
And don't
thank you for
forget to
joining me.
visit the Cash Game Festival page and like that
Absolutely.
as well. We're trying to get that 4,000 likes up to 5,000. So Ace High, go check out the post there. Then head over to the Cash Game Festival Facebook page.
Yep.
Like it, check out all the pictures, all the blog posts are linked there as well.
Absolutely.
And then join the wonderful British duo over here,
Peace.
6 p.m.
See you
and
guys
peace
at
out.
6.
Cheers, guys.
was already planned before. So this festival here is very wide and diverse.
The game changer.
Big bets, who will win?
Michael, who took me out, eventually won the whole thing. So come here, our winner! Cash Game Festival is all about you, the poker player, who loves the game of poker but are tired of playing tournaments.
But here, the cash game are like the only thing going on. The cash game is the main event.
This is a fantastic idea.
There's more action.
Come on, show us a ridiculous bluff.
You have to be careful in this game.
It's giving players the options to play whichever stakes they want in an environment that they want to play in. So from that side, it's very unique.
We create a festival close to you.
It's a fantastic concept.
Since the Cash Game Festival is such a fun experience, it's cash game 24/7, it's parties, it's everything, I would definitely recommend going to Malta.
Huge party town, have lots and lots of poker action. Come on, Em, get in.
Good luck to everyone who's trying to qualify online.
Mr. Peter!
We're not only here to play poker. Poker is the main event, but it's everything that's around it.
Relax, play the game with friends, new friends. And I think we have the recipe here. You see that there's poker, fun, dinners, great nightlife, beautiful beaches, side activities.
I loved it. I fell in love with it from the beginning.
People are having fun. They can go out for a bit.
Socializing, spending time on the beach, go on the catamaran for the afternoon.
Spend some time in the sun, come back and play as long as they want, and they're usually having fun. It's a much more relaxed atmosphere. That makes it a very good excuse to go on a poker trip, because it's not just a poker trip, it's a vacation as well.
Meet, have fun, just enjoy life.
I'm not a tournament player. Cash Game Festival is perfect for me.
I'm not a poker guy. I've played first-time poker last night at the cash game, and actually I won.
You come and go as you want, play poker, have fun. And that's what our Cash Game Festival is about.
When you have the mixture of poker players, businessmen, and casino customers, it's a good mix.
All the people that were there could tell you something new is happening.
When you have social part as well, you can mix, you get to know the players, just play a little bit of cash.
It wouldn't be the same fun with the poker tournament.
I think it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger.
The concept is really cool. Chance to win a package for our next stop, Bulgaria. So if you're at home there watching the Twitch, why don't you visit the partner companies and see what is their campaign now running?
And we set off for Bulgaria after that.
And the fact that this cash game, for me, changes it all.
Guys, we're in London. You have still time to come here, register yourself at Asper's Casino. Come on, show us some ridiculous bluff. Oh, come on. H will be out from that hand. Let's see. Have to be careful in this.
came to the Cash Game Festival about 2 days ago, and I find this event really exciting.
This event is famous here in Bulgaria. All the poker players know about it.
With this activity package, we've been doing like stuff every day. That's been really lifting the whole trip a lot, I think.
He called with ace high, hero call, ace high. 2.4K in the middle going straight to Yanar. What a hand.
You meet new friends, new players, new people who like to play poker and also having fun outside the poker table.
I think the social aspect is very important because it helps you relax, it helps you clear your head for the next day of poker.
We're just having fun, sailing out and jumping in the water. My advice to people who's just looking or playing online is like, come to the festivals, it's fun.
The most enjoyable part of poker for me is the freedom.
We just finished the first Cash Game Festival ping pong tournament.
6:30 at the casino, the poker room.
Oh, they ran it twice. And he hit the set again.
Oh, wow, they ran it twice.
Savage. Absolute savage.
I mean,
So I've never played before, but I've been watching everyone else play and I've been sitting here thinking, okay, you know what? I'm going to give it a go. It was an amazing day. Really, really enjoyed it.
Rhino actually has less than pot behind here. He only has 2k left, 2.4k in the middle. Let's see if he has the heart here to go ahead and rip it in. So Chuck actually up 5.1k now. He has doubled his starting stack. Very nice evening's work for him so far.
I have really liked this so far, so I'm definitely trying to make the room and the money to come here.
The reason I'm coming here is to meet the people, to have a great experience, to do the side events. That's what it's actually making it. That is why it's a wonderful experience.
With the cash game, you can sit down, you can play, there's an activity, you can get up and you can take a break. If you have a great table, you can also decide and keep playing.
flush, over flop flush, get it in. Oh my fucking god. That was a big pot for a 1-2 table. This year, the festival started again back in London. I'm looking forward to the next stop in Slovenia because I've never been there before, and there will be plenty of players from Italy, which I've never played against.
never been here before, I would probably tell them, depending on if they're an intro player or if they're a more experienced player, there's games for everybody.
It's a lot more energetic, there's a lot more people, the atmosphere is much better. You have more energy as well because there's more energy in the room.
When I go to the Cash Game Festivals, I go to see different places. I have been to like 4 or 5 European cities now with Cash Game Festival that I would never have seen.
It's a good way to get involved and meet new people. There's a very small stakes, like 1-1 tables that you can get involved in, and that you can, you know, if you're really just trying to learn, it's a good way to get involved. And for the more higher stakes pros, you know, especially on the weekends, everybody will come in. You'll have the 5-10. Hopefully we can get a 10-25 going. And there's always a 2-5 here during the festival. It just depends what level that you are in, but there's games, I'd say, for everybody, for the most basic of players.
I am back at the Cash Game Festival because we have a lot of fun and banter at the tables.
Well, I do like the meal. The Saturday night meal is fantastic. Yeah, beautiful, yeah. So it's fantastic, you know, that's what I love about it. I pick somewhere that I've never been before when I go to one of the festivals.
call. Wow, the hero call, 2.4K, the biggest hand of the Cash Game Festival so far. And he got called on his bluff. Great, great call, Yanar.
This is a Victoria Line train to Seven Sisters. The Central Line is part suspended.
Cash Game Festival is one cool concept.
Everyone's been raving about this for a while.
As you can see, all the tables are full.
We are live at Asper's Casino.
the really good things here, it was you could pre-register for the cash game. 2 weeks ago, you could actually say, I'm going to play that level on that time, and that's really good. Normally in a traditional casino, you just put your name down and wait, but here, all the tables were already planned before. So this festival here is very wide and diverse.
The game changer.
Big bets, who will win?
Michael, who took me out, eventually won the whole thing. So come here, our winner!
Cash Game Festival is all about you, the poker player, who loves the game of poker, but are tired of playing tournaments.
But here, the cash game are like the only thing going on. The cash game is the main event.
This is a fantastic idea.
There's more action.
Come on, show us a ridiculous plan.
You have to be careful in this game.
It's giving players the options to play at whichever stakes they want and an environment that they want to play in. So from that side, it's very unique.
We create a festival close to you.
It's a fantastic concept.
Since the Cash Game Festival is such a fun experience, it's cash game 24/7, it's parties, it's everything, I would definitely recommend going to Malta.
Huge party town, have lots and lots of poker action. Come on then, get in.
Good luck to everyone who's trying to qualify online.
Challenge ever, Mr. Peter.
We're not only here to play poker. Poker is the main event, but it's everything that's around it.
Relax, play the game with friends, new friends. And I think we have the recipe here. You see that there's poker, fun, dinners, great nightlife, beautiful beaches, side activities.
I loved it. I fell in love with it from the beginning.
People are having fun. They can go out for a bit.
Socializing, spending time on the beach, go on the catamaran for the afternoon.
Spend some time in the sun, come back and play as long as they want, and they're usually having fun. It's a much more relaxed atmosphere. That makes it a very good excuse to go on a poker trip, because it's not just a poker trip, it's a vacation as well.
Meet, have fun, just enjoy life.
I'm not a tournament player. Cash Game Festival is perfect for me.
I'm not a poker guy. I've played first-time poker last night at the Cash Game, and actually I won.
You can come and go as you want, play poker, have fun, and that's what our Cash Game Festival is about.
So when you have the mixture of poker players, businessmen, and casino customers, it's a good mix.
All the people that were there could tell you something new is happening.
When you have social part as well, you can mix, you get to know the players, just play a little bit of cash.
It wouldn't be the same fun with the poker tournament.
I think it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger.
The concept is really cool.
A chance to win a package for our next stop, Bulgaria. So if you're at home there watching the Twitch, why don't you visit the partner companies and see what is their campaign now running?
And we set off for Bulgaria after that.
And the fact that this Cash Game, for me, changes it all.
Guys, we're in London. You have still time to come here, register yourself at Asper's Casino.
Come on, show us some ridiculous bluff. Oh, come on.
H will be out from left hand.
I came to the Cash Game Festival about 2 days ago, and I find this event really exciting.
This event is famous here in Bulgaria. All the poker players know about it.
With this activity package, we've been doing like stuff every day. That's been really lifting the whole trip a lot, I think.
He called with ace high, hero call, ace high. 2.4K in the middle, going straight to Yanar. What a hand.
You meet new friends, new players, new people who like to play poker, and also having fun outside the poker table.
I think the social aspect is very important because it helps you relax, it helps you clear your head for the next day of poker.
We're just having fun, sailing out and jumping in the water. My advice to people who's just looking or playing online is like, come to the festivals, it's fun.
The most enjoyable part of poker for me is the freedom.
finished the first Cash Game Festival ping pong tournament.
6:30 at the casino, the poker room.
they ran it twice. And he hit the set again.
Oh, wow, they ran it twice.
Oh, savage. Absolute savage.
I mean,
So I've never played before, but I've been watching everyone else play and I've been sitting here thinking, okay, you know what? I'm going to give it a go. It was an amazing day. Really, really enjoyed it.
Rhino actually has less than pot behind here. He only has 2k left, 2.4k in the middle. Let's see if he has the heart here to go ahead and rip it in. So Chuck actually up 5.1k now. He has doubled his starting stack. Very nice evening's work for him so far.
I have really liked this so far, so I'm definitely trying to make the room and the money to come here.
The reason I'm coming here is to meet the people, to have a great experience, to do the side events. That's what it's actually making it. That is why it's a wonderful experience.
With the cash game, you can sit down, you can play, there's an activity, you can get up and you can take a break. If you have a great table, you can also decide and keep playing.
Flop, flush, over, flop, flush, get it in. Oh my fucking god. That was a big pot for a 1-2 table.
This year, the festival started again back in London. I'm looking forward to the next stop in Slovenia because I've never been there before, and there will be plenty of players from Italy, which I've never played against.
cash games because everybody's friendly, you can talk to each other and laughing, talking about the other stuff than just poker and having a good time.
It's amazing people around here, so good. I haven't experienced something like that for a while.
I like the cash game because everybody's friendly, you can talk to each other, laughing, talking about the other stuff than just poker and having a good time. You should definitely visit Cash Game Festival if you like to play cash game, have a good time, have dinner with good people, meet new friends and play cash game. Who doesn't like it?
Game Festival is a great event for poker, and not just for the games as well, but the whole atmosphere. The people that are here, the organisers, everyone's just here to make sure everyone has a great time. Cash Game Festival is a great event for poker, and not just for the games as well, but the whole atmosphere. The people that are here, the organisers, everyone's just here to make sure everyone has a great time.
Poker is not only about technical stuff, it's as well about mindset, emotions, what you eat, what do you think, how do you feel, your habits, everything.
This Cash Game Festival event, you have so much freedom. You can play just a little bit if you want, or you can play 24/7 basically.
My name is Brandon, the commentator for the Cash Game Festival. Been with these guys for the past 7 events now. Commentating the Cash Game Festival has actually been such a fun hobby job for me. It's like, I don't know, going to insanely awesome places like Gibraltar. Gibraltar is absolutely beautiful. Like, this place is like no other. I've actually had a lot of opportunity to have some of the players come and commentate with me this time, which I really enjoyed. It's always nice to get a real player's perspective. I've also been inviting a lot of people into the booth with me who are actually in the Twitch chat. So whether you're checking us out on the Twitch stream or in the local areas, just come on down and check out Cash Game Festival. We have players from all skill levels, and you can start your buy-in for as little as 50 pounds, man. Come check out where the fun is.
John Scanlon here at the Cash Game Festival. So we're here in Gibraltar for day 2 of the Cash Game Festival. Today we went and we watched some whales. Unbelievable, the size of them, really, really amazing. It turns out today on the poker tables I was the biggest whale of all. Just did a bit of a spin up on the roulette table for the Cash Game Festival promotion to win a package to Malta. Off to bed, had a fantastic day at the Cash Game Festival here in Gibraltar. If you're not here, you need to ask yourself, why are you not here? Sunshine, great drinks, great poker, great parties. Get a flight, come, join us, let's play.
Hey guys, this is the day 4 of Cash Game Festivals in Gibraltar. I'm Veli-Matti Puumala and I'm here to play some cash games, PLO, Sviten, anything you name it. Today we started the day with a pool party on the top of the boat, which was like super awesome. After that, we're watching some hockey, but we're gonna see the results while we're playing PLO at the feature table. We're gonna put on 2-2 PLO. We have a few Finnish players there, of course, because we only play Omaha here. After the feature table, we're gonna have a party, like a real party. We're gonna go to the club next door there, and we're gonna have some fun, have some drinks, listen to music, and tonight we're gonna have fun.
Hello everybody and welcome to the third day of Cash Game Festival at the Sunborn Hotel in Gibraltar. My name is Peter Laterra. Let's go and see what they have to offer today. The first thing that happened today was we played Chinese poker. Really funny game, and the casino actually allow us to play it. They usually don't. And we also made an editorial video for the Sweden special to get people interested in the game. And after we went to a splendid dinner outside on this boat, looking at the sun and planes coming in from the sky. It was really amazing, and a lot of cash games afterwards.
What up? And
here we go, guys.
Looking forward to another Cash Game Festival stream, 2-2 Hold'em. And Henry, I'll let you do the introduction.
Yeah, it looks like guys have already got their cards in the air as Anthony seems to just have gone for a standard open from the small blind with the Queen 10 and Paul folds with the Queen 4 offsuit in the big blind. But yeah, introduction time. We're live from Aspers Casino in Stratford, bringing you more action from the Cash Game Festival. It's been a great 3 days so far. They always seem to go so quickly as well.
Yeah, it does. I can't believe we're already halfway through the festival, but
crazy.
Plenty more fun-filled action to bring you here live from the Aspers 888 Poker Room in London. Looks like we've got an Oasis fan in the middle. Big fan of that. A lot of time for that get-up. And looks like we've got a fairly deep stack 2-2 game. I saw the stacks between about 250 to 500, so 125 to 250 big blinds. Should be a couple of interesting spots. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. So,
hopefully
Florian,
we can get some 1K pots going as well, just
absolutely,
to kick off the night and
just to get the juices flowing, ready for that 5-10 no limit game later on, which is going to be action-packed. I can promise you that much.
The lineup for that 5-10 game is absolutely insane. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a couple of 4K, 5K pots.
Yeah.
We already know who's going to be showing up.
Yeah. No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers, but there's going to be plenty of action. And top of the action, there's loads of money being given away today as well. You want to go ahead and mention the free roll?
Yeah, we've got Ace High Poker. Shout out to the one of the homes of UK poker, sort of on the online scene. A big Facebook group, and they are giving away. Is it 1, 2, 4? Oh my god!
Just confirmed. Literally 5 minutes before the stream.
Holy mama. So do you want to talk about that? I only thought it was 1. Wow,
so,
what a giveaway.
4 packages being given away. Earlier on, our main man, Jordan Hooper, who's an admin of the Ace High Poker Group, made a post. Very easy to get enrolled. All you had to do was like the post, comment. We had 39 entrants in total. He's already picked out one for the hybrid tourney for tomorrow.
Lovely.
The other 3 are going to be getting picked today at 7 PM and 9:30 PM respectively. So we're going to give away £100 on this stream, £200 cash money on the later stream.
Cash money, money.
We've got a little cup here with everyone's names in it from the Ace High Poker Group.
High
and,
tech.
That's it. Yeah, just give it like.
Henry's been. Whoa! That's about half the field down the gutter.
Rigged.
Absolutely rigged. Durka Asaj in the chat. Welcome to the Cash Game Festival stream. Is saying, are you doing any more festivals apart from Sunny Beach? Hell yeah, we're doing more festivals. We're going to be at Sunny Beach, we're going to be at Bratislava, and we've got some interesting talks going on for some other European locations, but I won't tell too much as of yet because they are not confirmed. But you're going to be seeing our ugly mugs plenty over the next coming months, and we're looking to be doing about 1 stream a month. And we've also got some fun news to be giving out at the end of the week once we get everything confirmed. But yeah, you might be seeing a little bit more of us to come in the future. That's Sam Orledge, I believe, isn't it? Yeah, I've got him on Facebook. I think he's a bit of a mainstay on the UK poker scene.
He certainly is. He grinds the tournament circuit, and he's just had a chat with him before the show, and he was saying that he's transferring more to live cash. It's how he started out.
Nice.
He wants to get back into it because with having a full-time job, it's quite hard to play these 3-day, 4-day events.
Oh, absolutely.
He'd much rather jump into a cash game and just make his money there, really.
Yeah, from what I've seen, a lot of people who go and play tournament poker, obviously there's a huge amount of variance in that, and it can get frustrating if you're constantly coming up short or getting those scores but not quite the big ones. So live cash, obviously not a lot more of a natural money maker for a well-versed poker player, and you do see a lot of people sort of transitioning into that if they are playing full-time or depending on it as some kind of side income.
Certainly is, and I'm just messaging Jordan Hooper now from the Ace High Poker Group. Shout out to anyone in the chat as well who has tuned in from the Ace High Poker page. Me and you are quite actively involved in there, aren't we?
Love the
It's
Ace High.
a great community, bit of banter, bit of hand analysis as well, and just loads of information. It's just one of them pages where there's just so much knowledge available if you ask the right questions. So it's great to have Ace High Poker on board with us, and Ace High for the win, as we
Ace High
normally
for the
say.
win. Yeah.
So guys, we are giving away 4 packages. There's 39 people who have entered, so you've got about 1 in 4 chance of locking yourself up a tidy little £100 cash money to take part on one of our feature tables or in one of the cash games here, and hopefully spin up to a nice £400, £500 profit.
Absolutely.
Free money. Jumping into the action then, it looks like we've got fairly standard hands so far. It looks like David opened from under the gun +1 with the ace-jack offsuit £8. Paul's decided to come along for the ride on the button with the king 9 of hearts. So we're currently sweating Ian's hand in
what
the big
turn
blind.
card that is for David.
Action turn card. Checks
wow,
through.
River's the flush, sorry. The ace-high flush, he gets there on the river. Yet to see what Ian's got. There are a couple of potential hands that he could be beaten by. Graphics is going around all over the place, but I'm sure
our guys will be...
We
are on.
Oh, I just had a bit of a
Slight
heart and
sweat.
mouth moment there, because obviously we've been live for about 5 minutes and I thought that the microphone was on mute, but no problem at all. Boots Brujay, mainstay in the chat, thanks very much for joining us, was on the stream earlier. And yeah, David picks that one up. Unfortunately, nothing that Paul could do there. Flopped himself top pair, but the board just got worse and worse. So yeah, a little bit of info on Sam, who we previously mentioned. He's a 25-year-old British. Facilities management is his job title. And he is at Sam Orledge in all of his social media. Loves the cash games. Heard about Cash Game Festival through the Twitch stream, as I'm sure some of you have as well. And thanks very much for joining. He said that his biggest achievement in poker is he got sponsorship from the Hippodrome Casino for the Goliath Festival. So a nice little free roll there. Managed to get himself up to Coventry for that festival, free of charge on behalf of Hippodrome Casino. Very well done for that.
Awesome stuff.
It's his first TV table as well, and he loves the streams because he gets to see how much bullshit people are playing with and what's going on. So good insight into poker. I've got a couple of friends who I've been messaging who are saying that they're watching the streams back, and it's just quite a good insight into these kind of live cash games that you wouldn't otherwise see, which is why we really love the Cash Game Festival, bringing grassroots poker to all. And yeah, I won't use a Donald Trump phrase, but making poker great again, should I say, making grassroots poker great again.
That's what it's all about.
So David with a loosey-goosey raise with the King 8 suited. I think they're currently about 7 or 8 handed. Paul looks down at Ace King suited in the cutoff, and looking as disinterested as possible, but sliding out a quiet 3-bet there. Pumps it up to 21. Sam's going to be letting go of that 4 deuce, or maybe he isn't.
It's not a great hand to 4-bet with Sam.
Come on, Sammy boy, let it go. Oh, he's not looked yet. Okay, there we go. Yep, quick fold. And David in position now, facing a small 3-bet with the suited king. I'm guessing he's probably going to be coming along. They're both over 200 big blinds deep. Nothing wrong with appeal here. If you have opened as loose as King 8 suited.
For sure. Is playing one of them tricky hands that does get you in trouble out of position. Like you've already mentioned, against a player that does have a deep stack. And now look, flops coming king high. And
gets himself into a bit of trouble here. Paul flops himself top. Pretty happy to see this board after a 3-bet. He is in position, so has the advantage, but more so has absolutely smashed the park out of the board too. So it's going to be a standard bet, standard call.
Be interesting if a heart peels off on the turn.
Yep, or an 8. We see the 5 of diamonds. That's not going to change anything. Bit of a brick ball. Paul shouldn't be considering that this could improve David's holding unless he had some kind of Queen X of diamonds combination, in which case he's picked up the extra equity. Not this time. He's in a world of hurt. He's probably going to have to pay the second bet as well. This does bring some natural double barrels into play, like an ace-10 suited, a jack-10 suited, an ace-jack of diamonds. So I think it's a fairly standard call, but this is the problem you get when you raise a hand like King 8 and face a 3-bet, right?
Out of position as well, you know, it's just what flops are you in love with, you know, like we've talked about this many times over the last few months about these type of hands, and especially in these games, the lower stakes, we often see little basic fundamental mistakes from the players that we don't see so much in the higher stakes. Absolutely. That we've seen. And yeah, looks like Paul picked himself up a fairly decent sized pot there. Solve him, and it looks like we've got people going off in the chat as per usual.
You play poker like it's 2010, Bruce. Wow, got some shots fired. Krypton's giving me a bit of shit talk as well. We like to see it. If I win, I will stake George in the game so he can knit it up. It's safe money though, isn't it?
knit it up.
I'm not sure about the 4-bet with Ace Jack off, whether that's nitty, but
I think it's a fist bump 4-bet
Fist
spot,
bump.
really.
Get it in, son. Let's have it. Yeah, loving the action so far, and it was good to play in that 1-1 game. Just not only as a player, but to kind of be a bit of an ambassador for the Cash Game Festival. Make sure everyone's having a good time. We had a good bit of banter there, and if you've only got 100, 200 quid in play, it's not the end of the world if it does go awry.
Sure, and I just want to pick up on that fairly disciplined fold there from seat 1. Folding the ace-8 of spades from under the gun, I like it, especially when you're just getting in your comfort zone at the table. Not a huge fan of this from Sam. We spoke about hands like this and hand selections to either 3-bet or fold with, especially from the small blind. But hey, look, if you want to balance it with some flat calls, then it can't be too bad, you know.
It'd be a pretty loose 3-bet with the King-Queen against an early position raise.
For sure.
But I don't like the flat. I'd like to see just a fold, to be honest. Anthony checks.
It's interesting that he's checked. It's not only ace high, but it's ace high flush draw.
Probably going to be part of a flop checking strategy where he's going to check some overpairs on a board, this safe as well. I would have liked to seen at least one barrel, and he does allow himself to get bluffed now. A hand like Jack 10 of diamonds has absolutely no showdown value whatsoever, so probably might want to take a stab in an uncontested pot. I've seen it's a strategy you employ as well when we play those 1-2 games in Reading. Taking advantage of uncontested pots really does give a nice boost to your win rate, because
it really does.
In live poker, it's not as though online you can't really see how people are acting, whether they're comfortable or whether they're disinterested. In live, you can kind of get a general sense for how people are just sort of given up on the pot and just on to the next one, even halfway through a hand.
As we just saw there from David, he quite casually just checked and kind of pointed.
Yeah, it was like one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I'm not interested to even attempt to take this pot down. And you play like a 4, 5, 6 hour session, them £20, them £30 pots that are uncontested. If you're not fighting for them, it is going to affect your win rate massively.
You can't just win with the nuts, and you've got to go for it. So Ugly Mugs can foam, Rose Boom, Bish Bosh Bash coming in with some hits. Love to see it. Durka, perfect. He's in Zurich, so close to me would be great. Not too good on my European geography, but Zurich is Switzerland, not too far away from Bratislava. Just a cheeky little flight over, and I'll just get back to the action as Paul's found himself with a lovely little hand. As the camera scans to our friend Adam, local on the Reading poker scene, resides in Maidenhead. I'll get some information about him after this hand.
Look at this, no action for Paul.
It's just heartbreaking, isn't it?
Seems to...
Ace King suited, aces.
Four hands in.
Yeah, I think he might have missed a bet on the river there, though. It went brick, and he's going to be up against Queen or a worse King most of the time. You're not going to expect anyone to improve on a 3-5 run out. So, interesting one. LPK Star asking for the free roll password. Thanks very much for joining. Really appreciate you joining our evening/afternoon Cash 2-2 Hold'em stream. Allez les bleus. So we got Twitch Poker Wizard, thanks very much for joining as well. Seeing some new names in the chat, thanks very much for getting involved. What is an angry bread? You must have favoured Belgium. Either he's been on the sauce or I have got no idea what he's on about. Belgium over France, no. Brazil, they never look world champion worthy either. Yeah, I think the French have kind of matured throughout the competition. What was a shaky start, they've now turned themselves into a force, and absolutely they've had some very good knockout performances, and I've been very impressed with them. Looking at the expected goals as well, they have dominated all of their games. Belgium, you may have said, got a bit lucky to get back from a 2-0 deficit against Japan, and maybe got served their just deserves after losing to France. So, bit of Ace Queen versus King Queen, bit of Domination Nation. Unfortunately, our man Adam's on the back end of it.
Take 2 checks.
Has sat down and first hand, I believe, with the straddle in play, decided to make it 15 from under the gun.
I like
+1.
it.
Fairly standard stuff, and a bit of a passive approach from Anthony, but I don't mind, just flat calling from an early position raise. Sometimes with hands such as Ace Queen, you are out of position to a new player to the table as well. So someone you never played with, you might not want to get stacks in straight away with Ace Queen, and Adam going to be looking to hit his 10, and 9 of diamonds on the turn. It's probably going to slow down the action.
Yeah, it certainly changes the board texture to a big degree. Let's see how Adam is going to adjust to this turn card. Is he going to fire another barrel? Is he going to give up? Obviously, out of the big blind, Anthony can have a hell of a lot of diamond combos in his range.
For sure.
Does get to the river now if he faces another check. Might be interested to see Adam turn his hand into a bluff. Having bet on the flop and been called, you want to be sort of targeting the jack and the 5x kind of hands that might have got to the river without a diamond.
For sure.
And yeah, now he knows that his king high is no good. Does he have the heart to rep that backdoor diamond? I think it might work in this instance, but we don't know Anthony from Adam.
It looks
right
like
now.
he's contemplating it as well. It looks like the old sigh and the check.
Takes it back.
And Anthony going to scoop himself the £78 pot. Adam looking a bit meh. Meh.
Yeah, it's going to be gutted to see the ace queen off there with no diamond.
A lot of football chat going on in Twitch land, and loads of people not sure who they want to back. France, Croatia. I think both teams have played fantastically throughout the World Cup, so it's anyone's game, and it is one of them games. It's a one-match game.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't like facilitating the kind of chat where, oh, Croatia have had an easier route to the final. Let's face it, guys, they're both in the final. They're playing on the biggest stage in the world. Give them some credit where credit's due. France, yeah, they may not be playing the most attractive style of football, but they get the job done. Quite reminiscent of, a Chelsea of old. Right, so some standard folds here so far. Folds to the hijack, the queen 5, that's not going to be good enough. Ace 8, certainly going to be in your cut-off opening range.
For sure.
Fairly deep, a lot of opportunities, and just pumping up the action. Probably going to go for about a 10. It goes for the 4x sizing. Anthony in the small blind with ace 8 offsuit. That's a loose call.
8-7 offsuit.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 8-7 offsuit. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Can't
I'm
even read.
huge fan of this. I'd rather see a 3-bet out of the small blind rather than electing to hill, but he does go to the flop of King Jack 10, 2 diamonds. David does have the ace of diamonds in his hand. I think this is a board that I personally wouldn't continuation bet on, but he does elect to do so, and it is going to work in this instant. I feel like Anthony's range is usually very Broadway type hand heavy.
Yeah, it's a great board for him. If he were to, I mean, if you're going to play that loose, you need to have some moves post flop, I think, to justify the fact that you're making a losing call in the long run against a cut-off range. So on boards like that, where it does heavily favour your range, although obviously the cut-off is going to be sort of uncapped there, it might be best trying maybe a out of position float or some sort of check raise, but that combo not the best. I'd just fold it pre-flop and be done with it.
For sure. Jeffrey saying defending offsuit connectors is one of the most common leaks, and I can agree more. And wow, aces again. We're 11 hands in. James under the gun. What's he going to do here?
Wowzerino, Cappuccino, Mr. Oasis.
Raising it up to 8.
Yep.
And is Ian cutting out raising chips? Maybe he's a bit bored. He's 11 hands in and he's like,
I've had enough.
Yeah, let's go for it. He does 3-bet to 24.
Yeah, the old re-raisy daisy to the 24. Sam's out of the way, I hope. David with the queen jack, certainly not going to be doing very well against that kind of early position action. Although he has put his hand down, slides it in the muck, a very astute play there.
Anthony.
King 10 for Anthony after the 8-7, and he's going to fold the King 10. Okay. King 3 in the big blind. Our man Adam, he's going to be out of there. And James now, pondering his options, but really he's doing cartwheels in his head. If you get 3-bet in this spot and you have aces, you are loving life. Don't mind a flat in some situations, and he does, because it's tough to really build a balanced 4-betting range in this kind of spot.
For sure. Wow, what a flop as well.
We've got some action now.
Now, in Ian's positions, you 3-bet pre, you flop a flop as good as this, what are you hoping for when you 3-bet? What do you do in James' spot here? Are you putting him on an overpair straight away, or?
Yeah, I mean, Ian, you'd assume so, right? You'd assume that he has kind of jacks, queens, ace king, ace queen, tens maybe. They are playing, what, seven-handed?
What a turn,
oh my god,
well.
what a turn, and it just goes from bad to worse for James. He's not going to be loving that board with his exact holding. Ian does improve to the straight on the turn, and Ian's in quite a nice spot now where he has 3-bet this hand, which is nice for board coverage, but it's really tough for your opponent who has an overpair on this kind of texture to really believe that you can always have the 8 or always have a set or always have a hand better. Most of the time, if you're facing a double barrel, you're going to be up against one of the gazillion combinations of hearts, you know, like a Jack 10 or a Jack 9 or whatever, that that they could find in their early position 3-betting range. So yeah, he does make the call, and I don't fault him for that at all. It's easier when you can see the cards, but yeah. And the river really doesn't change much apart from gets there for pocket 10s. Ian shippity dipskis it, and James now has to decide, has he got one of those kind of Queen Jack of Hearts, King Jack of Hearts, King 9 of Hearts type hands?
Even Ace X of Hearts, you know, like them type of hands.
Yeah, he unblocks that as well, so just one of those spots in No Limit Hold'em where you're just really hating your life. You know, your hand is kind of disguised because you did just flat the 3-bet pre, so you're leveling yourself into thinking, oh, my opponent doesn't know that I have a hand this strong. Do I need to defend that now by calling and making sure that, you know, I get bluff less in future?
I think he just
does
said
make the call.
And Ian scooping that £592 pot, biggest pot of the night so far, and scooped himself a tidy £298 profit. So he is up 150 bigs so far, and I do believe the biggest winner from the streams up until now is Frankie with 750 big blinds total profit. So he's in the contentions. It's early days yet, but hey, if he keeps playing like that and keeps hitting a run of cards like that, it'll be easy stuff for him to achieve.
So Jeffrey, with some decent insight, how's it ever difficult to build an under the gun plus under the gun 1-4 betting range? I usually view it as kind of the same spot as when you're looking to 3-bet from the big blind. So you see a lot of players flat there because 1, they don't want to lose their customer. 2, they block a lot of the value hands that you could be having in that under the gun plus 1 3-betting range. And so, you know, you want to let them stick around and maybe barrel off into you. It does create spots like that where you're in a lot of pain, a lot of world of hurt. And yeah, I completely agree with you. 4-betting for value there does have a lot of merit because you can get more money in against hands that you're completely crushing and go on to stack them later on. Frankie made a profit. Yeah, Frankie is absolutely killing it. He actually won, or is leading, sorry, for the Cash Game Festival trophy. I believe he was up to the tune of about 450 big blinds.
750.
750. I heard 450, 750. Henry, I'll take your word for it. So 750 bigs. That was in the 2-2 PLO streamed on Wednesday. And yeah, no one's got anywhere near close to that. It's tough to win that much in a game.
And I'm like you, I actually thought he'd only won 450.
Yeah.
But Jason confirmed earlier on that he tried stating that he only won 745 big blinds because he tipped £10 to the dealer, but they did include then 5 big blinds that he chucked away into his overall total. And Shane Norman from Ace High Poker saying, can I use my 1 time now for the giveaway? I mean,
well, what if you get to the main event final table, man? I mean, it'd be a bit of a bit
of a waste of your
I
one
mean,
time.
I'm honoured that he'd choose the giveaway to use that 1 time, and maybe yeah, he would like to get involved in the Cash Game Festival action, and we are absolutely honoured that he'd use that 1 time for that. But I'd keep that in the back pocket, mate.
I wouldn't use my one time for £100 sweat, you know.
Although what a giveaway though.
Massive giveaway.
Absolutely.
£300 up for grabs. £100 already been given away on the Ace High Poker page. Jordan Hooper did a random selection, like, you know, when you put all your names into a phone and it randomly selects. We're going for the old-fashioned route, which is pretty much 2 cups, 39 names in it. I'm going to give it the old shake, and George is going to pick out a name And then later on the 5:10 stream, which starts at, I believe, 9 p.m. our time, where you'll be leading the commentary with Jason. You're going to pick out 2 more. We'll let Jordan know who the winners were, and then you guys can come down tomorrow and take part in the Cash Game Festival festivities.
Absolutely. So on to the next hand. Sam, a good friend of mine, a friend of Endrick Geechie, who actually had a really nice deep run whilst we were out in Marbella.
Oh, really?
I believe he got into the final 2 or 3 tables of the 1K main there, and went over and had a deep run in the Tag Team Championship as well, and a couple of other nice scores along the way. Good player on Sky, who I've battled with in the past. Absolutely taken me to the cleanest, but we won't mention that. And just going into the chat, Julie Whitworth, that's a familiar name. I believe we met in Bratislava, a 32 Red ambassador / player. Won herself a couple of packages and was very much in the drinking / fun culture of Bratislava. Great to have you in the chat, Julie. Thanks very much for joining.
And obviously we weren't involved in any of them antics whatsoever whilst we were out there. We were wrapping up the streams at midnight. We were in the hotel room in bed for 12:30, and we were up to carry out our duties by about 10:30 the next morning.
Yeah, let's go with that.
There's absolutely no drinking whatsoever. Are you sweating now?
Bit of golf action. Just checking the leaderboard, seeing how the horses are getting on.
Nice.
Got a tied 4th.
A tied 4th?
Tied 4th, yeah. 80-1 with a couple of rounds to go, so not too disheartened with that. Any of you guys got any bets on for the tennis, for the golf? Who are your fancies for the World Cup final? We've had a bit of chat in the chat about that already. Most people siding with France. I had a sort of mid-tournament bet on Croatia, so I'm pulling for them. I had a bit of a win-win scenario. I mean, it didn't feel like it at the time, but one of those things.
Yeah, morale was definitely low.
At an all-time low.
Wednesday evening, that's for sure.
We had to really scrape ourselves off of the floor for that one. It was a tough beat, especially after the 4 minutes in heroics from Trippier, which really sent the house rocking in the Aspers Casino. And a good vibe throughout the week, I have to say.
It was absolutely buzzing when he scored, and then you just see me and George over by the TV 5 minutes from the end of extra time with 2-1 down, and it's just like, it is what it is.
All you can do is drink Heineken and pray for a late goal. The goal didn't come, but the Heinekens sure were flowing, I can guarantee you that much, guys.
They were indeed. And James opening up the button with the 6-3 suited, I don't mind it, and Sam deciding to come along with the 6-5 of diamonds. We've got some domination nation, but it really depends on what the flop brings.
Yeah, I'd still think that James would be a favourite to win the hand, regardless of most flops, because he does have the betting initiative.
Range advantage as well.
Yeah, exactly. And, Sam with a hand such as 6-5 suited, I wouldn't mind flatting some of the higher value suited connectors, but maybe with a hand like 6-5 you want to mix in a fairly high frequency 3-bet, in my opinion. Depending on, they're at that stage where they're just sort of getting a feel for how everyone else is playing.
Sure.
And you may have seen on the 1-1 stream earlier, apart from the dude, I think it was Michael, who bluffed it off with the King High. Most people were playing quite snug at the beginning and not really making too many big bluffs, as it were, just coming along for the ride and making the flat call and going from there.
And then it got as loose as your time in Nottingham about half an hour into the stream. So
yeah.
People 3-betting you with 7 deuce offsuit. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's suited or not.
Yeah.
Like getting in the mix with Jack 6 offsuit. So.
The thing I liked about that 3-bet was I opened to 8 and he made it 16 out of the small blind with 7 deuce off. So I really like to get him in for a bit of a pro hand analysis on that one. I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but good fun to be on the receiving end of it.
We'll have to get our friend
Estonian.
Yeah, we'll have to get our friend Estonian Jesus in to give a bit of pro analysis on that. And James raising it up from the cutoff, fairly standard stuff with the ace-6 of diamonds, and Ian on the button with the pocket jacks, 3 bets to 25.
And Sam, funnily enough, also sat on the table, said that was his favourite hand because everyone loves to hate it. So fair play to him.
Fair enough. Let's see what the...
James coming in with a fairly loose call out of position, flops himself a piece. Ian's not going to be too disheartened with that flop. Got himself the overpair, got himself the backdoor flush draw. Certainly going to be worth a continue. James comes along, flops himself the middle pair. And let's see what the turn brings. The 5 is curtains for James, because he may think that is a card that Ian with the range advantage might go for another stab at. and puts himself in another tough spot, does James. Had the aces earlier. Maybe there a little bit of history between the two, as Ian was on the receiving end of that pot and did win a big pot off of him. I think it was about a £400 pot to get the stream started. Did 3-bet the 8-6 suited under the gun +1 versus James's under the gun aces open. Manages to get there on the turn with the gut shot, and it was good night Vienna for the pocket aces.
Good night Vienna. So Sam Aldridge's favourite hand is pocket jacks.
Absolutely.
Well. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Neither.
Everyone's like, oh, I don't know how to play pocket jacks. Oh, I always go broke with pocket jacks. It's just one of them hands that people just seem to hate.
Absolutely.
I mean, for me personally, it's in my top 5, right?
Yeah. So James Bridden, the man that's pulling in all the pots, he's a 23-year-old UK resident. And he said, why did you come to the Cash Game Festival? He said the games look lively and friendly. Tick on that one, with a lot of table talk and a lot of action, which is what live poker should be all about. Sounds like a great guy already. Heard about us through Twitter, which is good to see that some of our marketing ventures and avenues are working well. Why did he start playing poker? So he could take money off of his friends. Sounds like a hustler, this one. And why he likes the TV table. Opportunity for friends and family who wouldn't otherwise see to find out what it's all about, you know, and what he's doing. I think he's probably in that early 20s justification period with maybe the close family. Look, this is what I want to do. Come and see me on the Cash Game Festival stream. And I'm sure that the friends and family back home will be loving him. Pulling in pot after pot so far. Got himself a nice start up to the tune of £200 to £300. Said his favourite hand is eight nine of spades, so
I like it.
I like it too. He's won several big pots with it over the years. Can't say fairer than that. And he won the big 11 on PokerStars for 2.8k, so certainly knows his way around the tournament game, and just plying his trade on the cash game today. So it's good to see him get involved, and yeah, nice to see someone else from the social media stream come in.
And what an action turn card as well, bringing the 8 of clubs, which brings 2 pair for Anthony and a gut shot and the nut flush draw for Sam. Anthony does... Yeah. Oh no, sorry, Florian's led out.
Florian's led out, he's turned a gut shot. He thinks that the lack of action on the flop is the green light for him.
For sure.
So chucks in the 25. Quite like this poker face though from him, not giving anything away. Realises the game's up though when he gets flattered. Anthony, I like the flat. I don't think if you raise this spot with a player behind and a person betting into 2 players, you're going to achieve too much with kind of a bottom 2 pair type hand, you know.
For
so
sure.
I like the flat.
For sure, and Anthony does get the check mark next to his name. So how do you proceed now in Florian's spot when you've led turn?
Yeah.
Are you going to continue firing?
Yeah, I mean now you've got like a Jack-9 blocker, you've got a 9-6 blocker. I think if you're going to bet the turn, you're going to have to go for another barrel on the river. It's going to be a tough spot for Anthony actually, as Sam did come along for the ride behind. So he's going to be worried about if he flats, maybe that hand could, that card could improve Sam to a hand like Queen 10, 10-8, all of which that beat him.
For sure.
You know, he's going to have to worry about the potential better 2 pairs sets and straights out there, and just kind of in that kind of spot where he's sandwiched
with the player left to act.
Yeah,
and
really
I definitely
tough.
agree. The good, great analogy there is that Sam definitely does check back some of his top pairs, some of his Queen 10 type hands.
Absolutely.
Some of his like Jack-9 suited, he's going to be checking back. Not to say that the 10's the worst river card for him, but I do completely understand. We've got to play behind. If I flat call and then Sam comes over the top, what on earth am I going to do?
Horrible.
You know, and that's what it's all about in these stakes, is trying to avoid them positions as much as possible. But at the same time, I think folding 2 pair on this type of board, you know, it's going to be you're going to be getting exploited too much if you do. I don't mind folding it at a very low frequency. Maybe if you go for the soul read like you did earlier on the earlier stream.
Yeah.
But I don't think, you know, you want to be folding it at more than like a 20% frequency. That's pretty much it.
And Florian gives him the good news, says, just got ace high, mate. And yeah, nice pickup from Anthony, who sort of was alert to the fact that the turn brought a lot of draws. A couple of them were completed, but not the obvious one, which would have been clubs. To bet the turn with Jack-9, he'd have had to bet into 2 people with a gut shot. So yeah, fairly astute observation there. And as you say, doesn't want to be folding the 2 pair too often, and does make the call, picks up a nice pot, and we move on to the next hand.
And I must say, I really like his composure at the table so far. He seems to be very calm, very professional. seems to be thinking hands through. Saw a couple of loose calls earlier on, but maybe that's part of his strategy. You know, he wants to be getting in there with these off-suited connectors and stuff like that. He just wants to be playing types of hands where he knows he's going to get stacks in if he gets the right ball.
Yeah,
so
the only way to improve at this game is to get in there and battle in the streets, isn't it? You don't learn anything by just flopping the nuts all the time and going for 3 streets. You learn things by putting yourself in awkward situations, putting other people, more importantly, in awkward situations, and really ramping up the aggression. I think when we both started, we were both sort of a little bit maybe tentative, and we wouldn't really ever consider bluffing in certain spots, and now you get to the stage where you're a little bit more comfortable, and that's the way that you really can win the big bucks in this game, by trusting your reads and going with it.
For sure. And just a quick shout out to All In with 1 out. Awesome commentary, gentlemen. Keep it up. Thanks a lot for the shout out and the positive feedback, guys. We really do appreciate it. Get involved with the analysis. Is there any spots where you do things differently? Is there anything me and George are saying that you think's absolute garbage? Let us know.
Cardswallop, as Hagrid would say.
We don't mind taking the heat. You know, that's the whole idea. Is that we want to bring good analysis to you guys, but if you do disagree with something, you know, that's what poker's all about. It's just going over hands and it's just putting your ideas out there. Roseboom is just, we should just ban Roseboom.
No, I enjoy Roseboom. Roseboom loves putting a little sly needle in. You learn things if you study, absolutely. I'm more of a sort of person that likes to learn from playing the spots, but often reluctant to study, and that's my own fault as much as anyone else. You know, it is really important to make sure that you do put that time in the lab, and that is the way that you get to the top of the game. Playing live cash, I don't think it is as relevant. Obviously, of course, if you do put the hours in, that you will get better. But you know, so much as just putting yourself in the games and getting stuck in and really taking in everything around you. I know it might sound a bit sort of counterintuitive, as I was on my phone a little bit earlier on, but I was talking spots and making sure that I was doing some of the right plays. So Florian checks back the flop, no option but to call the turn. You know, plenty of hands that Paul might be stabbing that he beats.
For sure.
And you know, an interesting river.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him call it off after it's gone check on the flop. And it looks like he's going to go for a block a bet. Which is quite an interesting line. I mean, what is this? Is this a value bet? Is it a blocker bet? Are you trying to get a better hand to... Maybe a worse hand to call?
Maybe just trying to get called from like 10s through 5s or something like that. Pretty small range. And a range which not all of them would have bet the turn themselves.
For sure. And not the greatest of starts for Florian. It looks like he's licking his wounds a little bit there after bluffing the previous hand and now getting his jacks cracked by the ace-queen of Paul. He looks a bit deflated, but plenty of time to turn around. We have seen it before. I know you and I in the past, we've spun up them 20, 30, 40 big blind stacks to decent amounts, so it can happen. You just got to stay positive and just keep playing your best game.
I remember when I first started playing, this was years ago, at the Fox Poker Club. I used to be a bit of a small stakes live donk, and I was down to, I think it was 25 quid. I got it all in 6 ways. I was basically dead to one card. It came on the river and I spun that up to 500 quid. And you know, like, these kind of things can happen, can't they? Because that was literally the last 25 quid I had for poker. You know, I wasn't going to reinvest.
Wow.
I was just going to wait till the next payday and donk it off to someone else.
Yeah, that's a brilliant story. I love stories like that.
It's cool, isn't it? You know, you're sort of sweating. You're like, ace, and there it comes. And, you know, that gets you back
Barry
in.
on the river, let's go.
Not deserved in the slightest, I won't lie to you.
Aces
again.
Here
we go.
Aces against queens. Wow, call us silly, guys.
Ben CB 789, raise your edge. Don't think you need the free roll password if you're that much of a crusher, Ben CB, but he's always looking for a bit of value, isn't he?
And look at this for James. James under the gun +1 with the queens makes it 8. Ian comes in with the fairly standard 3-bet with the pocket aces. And now James is going to be in an absolute world of pain when it gets back round to him. He's just
James is just getting beaten up by Ian left, right and centre. He's got queens versus aces. He lost with aces versus 8-6.
Queen of Justice? No Queen of Justice.
No, that's not going to be good. Aces picks himself up a gut shot to go along with the pre-flop nut dog. And we're probably going to see a fairly standard 3 street bizzle.
Unless, like, I mean, even
James
if
really is protecting that open flat the 3-bet, isn't he, range?
Yeah.
He's flatted with aces, flatted with queens. Queen's a lot more vulnerable, obviously, because you do give the Ace-X, King-X sort of 3-bet bluff hands a free pull at 3 cards, and the Jack's just curtains.
It really is, because he's seen Ian 3-betting with the 8-6.
Yeah.
He's now being 3-bet. He's got Queens, he's got overpaired to the board. Okay, he loses to Jacks, but when you've been 3-bet and you've lost a £600 pot with aces versus 8-6, you've got to be thinking here that your Queens are good, right?
Yeah.
All day long.
And looking at the sizings here, James has got a fairly easy half pot to get all the money in.
For sure. And it looks like he's actually
maybe he's
sizing
gonna
up
shove.
quite a bit. I do feel quite sorry for James.
Yeah,
so far.
85 he's gone for, leaving only 105 behind.
Which is like a
potentially
0.3
worried about
SPR.
Yeah, potentially worried about hearts, potentially worried about, I'm not sure what, to be honest, that maybe he improved, but
come on, James,
yeah.
find that fold, find the soul.
I don't think it's happening. Right, we're going to need a 4, we're going to need a Jack, we're going to need a heart, we're going to need something, and the 10 is just not going to do it. James is going to probably be stacking off here, only got a 3rd size pot bet behind. Ian pulls the trigger straight away.
And a snap call,
I think.
James.
Yeah.
Wow.
The problem is, once you do get to that spot where the guy's insta-shoved a 3rd pot on the river, is he ever bluffing? I don't fault James in the slightest for calling, but
what do you now beat?
What do you now beat? You know, yeah, he's 3-bet, he's bet, and he's shoved, and it's one of those spots where it's just grim because that player's just won 3 out of 3 big pots against you,
sure.
and a part of your inherent kind of belief is that, all right, this is the time I can get him, and it just doesn't come for him that time, and unfortunately, no queen, and that's going to be a stack.
And it's a sick run out for him as well. It's one of them ones where it's just like,
just
but it looks like showers for James Ace. He kind of gave it the shake of the head, no more. And guys, just quickly, we are going to be giving away that £100 in about 20 minutes' time.
Absolutely,
I'm going to let you
for you.
pick out the name, so that people who don't qualify, they can be angry at you. You know, I've got to try and step back and
the buck stops here. No
you
problem.
can be responsible for letting down the other 38 players. But if you don't get your name pulled out first time, don't forget at 9:30 we'll be giving away another £200. That'll be live on the stream about 9:30.
Yeah.
So plenty of money to be up for grabs.
Yeah, and that 5-10 cash game, the No Limit Hold'em, I can't wait to see the big boys dancing in the streets of the poker tonight.
I'm looking forward to that, I really am. And Sam deciding to raise it up with the King Queen from under the gun +1 after Ian limped under the gun with the 4-3 of diamonds. Anthony with a very questionable call on the button. It looks like he didn't call actually, a slight mistake there with the graphics. And we've got a couple of familiar faces standing by us to the right-hand side.
Yeah.
It's Mr. and Mrs. Clark.
Yeah, how you doing? David and Teresa Clark.
How you doing? You alright?
The golden couple, the posh and Becks of the UK poker scene, as we like to say.
And fellow Ginger as well. Representing the Ginger poker.
Got his factor 50 in the pocket, he's ready to go. Was it?
Really? Wow! What, Dave? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, that's commitment right there.
Awesome stuff.
Thanks very much. See you later, guys.
So, guys, for those of you who don't know, we first introduced them in Bratislava. David and Teresa Clark coming regulars now of the Cash Game Festival.
Yeah.
Dave said he's going to need a few more drinks before he can actually join us in the booth because he'd be too nervous, pretending he's a bit camera shy.
No,
I don't believe that. He's
a big
an outgoing guy, exactly.
Big personality. And here we go. We've got a bit of loosey-goosey 3-betterino action. So the 3-deuce suited, that's not going to be a call, that's not going to be a fold, that's going to be a raise. So opens up to 4.5. Paul on the button, comes along for the ride with the Jack-10 off, got position. Jack-10 obviously makes the most straights or whatever you want to justify it with, but yeah, comes along and probably going to be a C-bet from Dana White, the UFC ambassador and owner.
I was like, what are you talking about there?
Doesn't he look like Dana White?
No, exactly. I heard you say his name and then it clicked. I'm like, wait, what, the Dana White on the UFC? I've looked at the screen like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
If you guys got any other lookalikes for any of the players, or maybe me and Henry,
the doppelgangers of the players at the
I
table.
think Shermanator.
Oh fuck! Right. Fuck right, so you can do one. You can do one.
88 of you in the chat, thanks very much for joining. Hoping you're having a good time. Ian certainly is. He's won about every pot he's been dealt. And
he's up £600 so far, in for 300, up to 897.
He's opened the bin lid and he's just chucked James straight in there, unfortunately for the lad.
You got a feel for him. He's running. So, and look who we've got jumping into James's seat.
Is that Mr. Minaj?
It certainly is, jumping into seat 5. And as we've already seen, yesterday didn't run the best. You know, he ran into to a River 2 pair with top pair, top kicker on a fairly dicey board, couldn't get away from it. And then I believe you were away for a refreshments break.
Oh yeah.
And he ran bottom 2 into top and bottom, couldn't get away from it again.
Sounds like a tough day at the office.
Yeah, but he's going to be buying in for the max. And guys, this could get lively. This could get lively.
Action player plays a lot of pots, whether that be for a raise, for a call, doesn't like the fold button, and stacks his chips in a fairly tilting way, as was mentioned on the stream yesterday. Likes to go for the stacks of 5, which is often, if you go back to the old school book on tells by Mike Caro, someone that stacks their chips in a messy way, usually a loose player, still holds true in 2018, guys. I know most of you probably won't believe in poker literature, that it's outdated, but the Book of Tells for live poker is an absolute goldmine. Pick up a copy online. You won't be disappointed.
It's quite funny. Did you see Andy Wilson's post in the WSOP main? I think all of them were stacking their chips like that, and I was getting tilted. I'm like, guys, why are you stacking your chips in like a row of 10? And they're like, because people are going to see us as fish. You know, we're playing a 10k event, we're playing a 5k event. People are going to think, like, who is this guy? Doesn't have a clue.
It's a great point.
And yeah, I thought fair play. Like, they've actually put some thought into it and stacked their chips like
Absolutely. Beauty of live poker, you can manufacture your edge in any way possible.
For sure.
We've had Will Kassouf on the stream before. He loves to give it the chatterbox, likes to make people uncomfortable. You don't really like bluffing. You're not really comfortable bluffing a guy that's constantly in your face, constantly giving you sort of shit, you know. It makes your life tough. And these are the kind of things that you can forge as a live cash player to your advantage. And he does and has done successfully. Earned himself a Grosvenor sort of sponsorship, and fair play.
Not a huge fan of this from Adam, calling the Queen 9 offsuit on the button. I know Paul's range should be fairly wider than usual, opening from the cut-off, but I just feel like Queen 9 offsuit is one of them hands again that gets you in a lot of trouble if you flop top pair. You know, are you happy calling 3 streets? I just feel like hands like that should just be straight into the mark, onto the next hand, and looks like a picture of you there. I know, a picture
Greg
of
Barrett, yeah, he's got a picture with him and Will Kassouf. Is there any way that we can upload that to the chat? I think it's just text only, but I'd love to see that, Greggy boy. You coming down for the coming up for the Goliath? Sorry, mate. Be nice to see you. Arcaz, thanks for joining the chat. The free roll password is just above, but for your convenience, there it is again. The password: deal me in.
500 smackaroos, courtesy of 32 Red Poker, starting at 8 p.m.
500. It was 250 a couple of days ago.
I know.
Pumping up and up and up. We're just
upping the ante.
dishing out value. Not only that, what else have we got, Henry?
Today, in about 15 minutes' time, we're going to be giving away £100 to one of our fellow Ace High Poker community members. And on top of that, we thought, you know what, £200 isn't enough. Let's give away another £200. So at 9:30, everyone who saw the post, liked and commented, we're going to be pulling out 2 more names out of the cup and getting some of our Ace High buddies down here tomorrow to play some cash. Free staking, you know.
Absolutely love it.
Awesome stuff. I'm going to step out of the booth for about 10 minutes. I need to make a post on Ace High just to make sure everyone is aware that we're going to be doing the draw in 15 minutes' time. Leave you in the capable hands of my main man, George Sanford.
Cheers,
and
bro.
I will be back, and there's a cooler on the horizon.
Here we go. I'm getting some, as live players like to call it, poker stars type hands here. So getting some coolers. Both players flop themselves a flush draw to go along with their under pair to the ace. Paul obviously with the advantage. The 10 of clubs and the 10 of diamonds must have been folded. I'm not sure why Paul has a check mark here, but he does bet 20 into that £48 pot. David, I don't think he'll be going anywhere for just one bet. Pretty standard. You defend with a hand as strong as 10s. You definitely want to be coming along on this flop. You might be over folding if you do let it go. So the ace on the turn. Both players are going to like that card. Definitely reduces the chance of their opponent having that coveted ace. And Paul eyeing up his opponent before probably making another bet.
He's got a very strong 2-pair with the flush draw alongside of it. Certainly a hand ahead of your opponent's range here. Could be coming along with a 9, could be coming along with a 3, could be coming along with any kind of flush draw. Some sort of 4-5, some sort of straight draw as well. Shows the 10s. Nice discipline lay down on the turn. Very well done. David gets away. Let us know what you're up to, guys. We've got 91 of you in the chat. Love to hear what you're up to. Love to hear your plans for the weekend. Hopefully it involves the Cash Game Festival. As we said, if you join that Ace High group, there was the giveaway there. If you're in that, you might have a chance to spin yourself up a stack in our Cash Game tournament tomorrow. Just have a look at the chip counts again. Ian, the big winner in the game so far, he's got himself up to the near 900 mark. As you can see on the right hand side there, absolutely mounds of chips. Absolutely.
Catch you in a bit,
that's one, mate. Very well-versed cash game player there, Perry, making himself known. He is going to be jumping in the 510 streets later on. Looking forward to see him get stuck in. Wow, just looked up and the John Isner-Kevin Anderson match is still going. The two big servers that have found their way to the semi-final of the Wimbledon men's draw. That looks like a marathon. Who have you guys got for that game? Let us know. So skipping back to the action once again, Florian looks down at the 9-6 suited under the gun with a stack as short as his. Certainly don't want to be opening that wide a range. Anthony himself 8-7 suited, nice and deep. Certainly a candidate for an open, I would be, and so is Anthony. Pumps it up to 4.5x, looks like a 9. And Paul with a pretty loose call there with the king turn off. Adam's not been getting anything going so far, unfortunately. He makes the discipline lay down. Sam and the small blind. Love to see a squeeze here. Can he pump this one up? A lot of loose action going on. Certainly going to be ahead of the under the gun +1 flat a lot. Sorry, under the gun +2 flat a lot of the time. And you know, wouldn't mind seeing it. Most definitely a hand that's strong enough to just flat here as well. Does flop himself 2 overs and a nut flush draw. David's got himself in there with a gut shot. And Anthony, wow, flopped himself top pair on the 8 high flush draw as well. So it's certainly going to be seeing a lot of action on this board. 3 players in with the piece. Paul's the only one to have a swing and a miss at the flop. 104 viewers. Awesome, we've broken the 100 viewer mark, and on the 3rd day of the Cash Game Festival. Good to see you guys in the chat. Make sure that you have liked our page on Cash Game Festival, facebook.com/Cash Game Festival. Really important for you to do that. Doing giveaways, we're doing shout outs, we're doing photos of the action, and all of the info is there. So Anthony bets, Sam calls. Going to make himself put himself in a difficult spot if he doesn't improve, but he does find that magical king of clubs on the turn. Turns himself the nut flush. Might have been wishing that he'd have popped it up. 2 overs, nut flush draw versus a C-bet and a call. Certainly enough equity to push your stack. Only got about 120 big blinds. And now Anthony's eyeing up his stack, seeing how much is there for grabs. Does find a check back. Wow. King comes on the river. And Sam now is obviously going to lead, and does lose the value there.
Bet 45.
Just goes for a half pot sizing. David's not improved, he's going to be out of there. And the decision lies now with Anthony. Having said that, David is really mulling his options over here with 6 high. Does he feel as though he could maybe take this one away with a raise? Let's see. What do you guys think?
8+.
Let's find a fold after some deliberation. And Anthony now, as the board is paired, tough to put his opponent on a set because it's likely that he would have raised 7s, fours and deuces, certainly hands that he could come along from the small blind with on the flop to deny equity to hands like he has. Does block top set. Not really too happy about it. After checking back the turn, I'd be loving this river spot as just a call. And yeah, sees the bad news. Sam shows him the nut flush, and Sam's going to pick up that pot, but maybe a little bit annoyed about the fact that he didn't push the action earlier on. TV tanking time, I know, right? Not too sure about that decision. Was he thinking of raising? Was he thinking about what he's having for dinner? Who knows? Maybe he's thinking about who's on the next UFC card. So, chip counts once again. Sam gets himself a nice boost. Obviously, there is rake in play that we're not accounting for on the stream. We've just got what their pure profit would be, which is also nice to look at because you see how many chips you're making in the game. And Sam up to the range of about £350 from that 300 buy-in, I believe. Almost time for the draw. I'm going to leave myself, and I'll be back in 2 minutes.
No worries, no worries. TV tanking time. They love it. They absolutely love it at these stakes. They want that extra minute of fame. Oh, I've got 7 high. Oh, yeah, I'll tank a bit longer. Guys, good news
5, 6,
all round.
7.
We were going to be giving away £100 in 5 minutes' time.
Check.
I've just received confirmation that it's not £100. It's £200. So the name that I pick out of the hat in 5 minutes is going to be getting £100 cash to play on one of our feature tables and £100 for the hybrid tournament. Basically, the hybrid tournament is a cash tournament. You start off with £100, start playing 1-1, then it goes up to 1-2, then it goes to 2-2, then it goes to 2-5. So you've got to play 4 levels, and basically whoever at the end of the tournament has X amount of cash in their hand, that's it. You walk away, you hand it in to the cash desk, and then they change it up for money. So £200 being given away in 5 minutes. The ones that we're going to be doing at 9:30, unfortunately, are a downgrade. It's only £100, but hey, £400 to everyone from Ace High Poker. Everyone who liked and commented on the post of Jordan Hooper, who is obviously one of the admins for Ace High. All of your names are in this cup, the old-fashioned draw. As soon as George comes back, we're going to give it a shake. We're going to pick out the main winner today in 5 minutes' time, and then the other 2 players that will be getting the £100 cash to come down and play with will be drawn at 9:30. Guys, we would really appreciate it. Because the tournament is tomorrow, if you cannot make it, let's keep the Ace High Poker community as it always has been, an honest one. Let us know that you can't make it so that we can give someone else from Ace High Poker a chance to take that spot if for whatever reason you cannot make it tomorrow for the tournament. So George, is it 4 minutes? God.
4 minutes?
4 minutes.
Wow.
God. And Barrett G asking how do you get involved in the giveaway. Unfortunately, the giveaway is closed. It was on Ace High Poker community, so if you haven't already liked that page, go to Facebook, type in Ace High Poker, give it a follow, and it will give you the chance to obviously in the future take part in these amazing giveaways. And you're away, I was just giving the viewers good news.
What's that?
We're actually giving away £200 in 5 minutes time.
Wow.
I've just been informed, so we're giving away £200 at 9:30 and £200 in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So the giveaway that we're going to do now, the main one, is for the £100 hybrid tournament and £100 staking for cash. I mean, I wish I'd put my name in there now, you know.
This must be Jordan Hooper tuning in, I think. He says, good luck everyone in the draw.
Ace High for the win.
Ace High for the win indeed.
Love it.
Going back to the action. Looks like David's going to cut out a positional bet there.
57.
And kind of missed the action.
Sort of double barrel here. He's been floated with the Jack-10 on the flop. And Paul lets go of the Jack-High on the turn. David with a nice move. The double
Did he bet
barrel.
57 on the turn?
Looked like a bit of a pump, didn't it?
It's like, fold. Fold your hand.
Fold your hand.
Who we got? Who we got?
Let's have a look at your post. Nice. Okie dokes. So
the old 0 likes. God damn it, you know.
Life's not all about likes. Life is about love and compassion.
Oh my
Getting
God, get a
deep.
room. Get a room. Who have you been impressed with so far?
I mean, he's had the deck slap him in the face, but our chip leader certainly has been playing some nice spots. It's been a bit of an odd game so far. Quite a lot of people fairly hesitant to make moves. Maybe it's because it's their first time on the feature table. It can definitely freeze you up a little bit. Our man Adam's not really had much to work with, but I know for a fact that he's a good player.
And a very good tournament player as well. You were recently on a final table with him in Reading, where you both came, I believe, 4th and 5th respectively.
Yeah, both picked up a grand for our efforts. I think he came 3rd actually.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think he got slightly more, maybe 12.50, something like that. But a weird tournament. It was all up top, and then you sort of started hustling with about 5 or 6 left.
Trying to negotiate that extra.
Yeah,
bit of
there are
money.
a couple of soft spots that just happen to have big stacks, so I would have preferred to play on, but in the winner-take-all format, you don't want to chance it too much with a 9k prize pool. Just take a little bit out of that, it's guaranteed, and leave some up top. So didn't quite go my way, but hey-ho, that's life. And as we go back to the action here, Paul swapped himself a middle pair. He's going to have a little quarter pot stab. No one else has really got much to contend with, but Adam does come along and bigs it, and that's a hell of an action turn, because
really
Paul
is.
does improve to a pair and a flush draw now. Might be tempted to have another barrel at it. I'm not sure whether he's going for value or as a bluff here, but probably just sort of the overall equity he feels he has in the hand. He wants to maybe set up some sort of river play. Adam now, having hit the Dream card, got essentially the nuts.
And Paul, with that additional equity, with the 9 of clubs on the turn, see, I don't like this from Adam, you know. You've got a low SPR, you want to reduce the SPR as much as possible, you want to get it in against maybe like a drawing hand.
Yeah, it's a
that's not
double
gonna
flush
pay
board,
you
you
on the
know,
river.
man. Like, there's going to be so many rivers where you just completely kill the action that you could potentially get. You've now got 1.3x pot behind. If it's checked to you and the board pairs, or a spade comes or a club comes, are you really going to shove for that much? You know, you really want to be committing your stack there and then. And he does go for the overbet.
And I feel like this should have been done on the turn.
On the turn, whilst you can get more hands that have got more equity to call. Now you only really get called by either a better straight or a flush, in my opinion. I think
I agree.
If the guy's unlucky enough to have pocket jacks there, then fair enough. But having played from the big blind, we can probably eliminate that from his range. So yeah, an interesting play from Adam, but he does manage to pick up the pot. He's raking in the money, and we're sat here talking shit. So what do we know?
Do you want to give away £200?
Right, let's give away £200, guys. If you're tuned in from A-Side Poker, this could be your lucky day, as we are giving away 2 100, or is it 1 200?
1 200, and then 2 100s at 9:30.
Okay. Drum roll, please.
Do the honours, bud. Get in front of the camera. And let it be known as to who's just won themselves 200 quid.
Harry Middleton. Harry Middleton, congratulations. You are the £200 winner. You've got yourself a £200 stack in our sponsored £200 cash game tournament, I believe, tomorrow.
£100 hybrid tournament, £100 cash to play cash at one of our feature tables. And I will let Jordan Hooper know momentarily that Harry Middleton, as you guys can see there, so you know that it's not rigged. I don't know if they can see that, but Harry Middleton, £200, and we will be doing
£200 in
2
your
more
pocket.
draws